she wouldn't fight the dog.
Mm-hmm.
She would like lay with him. And the dog like, oh, we're friends. No, it ain't a friend thing.
No, this friends with benefits. Yo, I like to see Azora sit in front of the other cats and shit.
Yeah.
They're like, they look, there's mostly girl cats. They look at her like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
She was sitting in front of the dog. She was sitting in front of the kid. She ain't
Bruh.
No, she was perched in front of Alex. I'm like,
you better, yo, that's something you can't unsee either. You can't unsee it.
Ain't no way around that one.
Morning,
What's up,
guys.
y'all? What's going on? What's going on?
And see the fact that Chris just brought that shit up, like that's not the I gotta do something to wash my brain because that's not the memory I want to retain of Zora, yo, the governor, yo. Nah. But that was 100% her though. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh my god.
That's why when we get our kitten, it needs to be fixed before it comes in this door.
Oh, thanks. No, listen, I'm not trying to deal with that. What? What are you doing?
Yo,
ain't nobody.
That's like somebody wrangling that motherfucker.
Bro, it's the wildest mating call ever in history.
How is that attractive, yo? Who's that? Imagine you walk in the club, right? You go up in there, you can find me in the club, and then all of a sudden the girl sees she like you, and she start going, oh. What the?
Yo. What the worst thing is that there's like stray cats in your area.
Oh my god!
Then they all start coming around.
Yes.
And like, oh, wait a minute.
Nah, B.
Fuck that.
That's horrible, yo. That's horrible.
No parts. No parts.
It's horrible. It's horrible. Ugh. Cringy.
Flashback.
This shit is cringy. Man. Poor Zora.
Oh, yo, that's
It was bad. But then when they do it, it's bad enough they're doing it during the day, but they nocturnal animals.
Nigga.
So in the middle of the night, out of the blue, it's wow. Fuck.
You could be on a whole different floor.
Yeah.
Cats weren't even
on the
same floor as me.
Yeah.
Oh, so gross. So gross. It is gross. Gross.
It is.
I know it's life. Life is gross. Like
yes.
Listen, they got a job to do.
I mean, sure.
I guess. Oh, it's terrible. Look, it is 11. Let me do this intro real quick.
Yeah.
Me.
Here we go.
Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SBJ.
You
and my sister Chrissy.
Hey.
And I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And we are just a few geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective. Facts indeed. Now, I know a bunch of you were wondering, what the fuck were they talking about when they kept live? Right? I know what you was thinking. You was thinking.
You don't want to know.
You really don't. Because once you see it, look, it's one of them things where if you actually see it in real life, you can't unsee it. But even if we describe it to you, you can't unsee it.
No, it's not pleasant.
It's not pleasant. But we are here again for another rousing edition of Saturday Morning Cartoon Block.
Yeah.
What are we where are we going with this today?
All right, so should I just go straight to, because there are two things.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're gonna go to the other thing first. So for those
I have chips.
Yes, you all. That's what
Me too.
We get it. For those who, actually, I'll just read the article. Questlove explains what triggered him about Drake versus Kendrick Lamar.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I didn't know how that worked.
Questlove has expanded on his thoughts about the Kendrick Lamar versus Drake feud and why he feels Andre 3 complex. because it's an article.
Got you. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why he feels Andre 3000 is battling with imposter syndrome. All right. So to be fair, right?
Damn it.
I feel like Quest isn't dumb. Like that he in the end, this is one of the first real shitty takes that I've really ever heard from him. Like generally he's on point.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How many takes have you heard from him?
That's the point. That's the point. That is exactly the point that I'm making. So because of those things, because the fact that he's not dumb and the fact that he is usually very
What up, sis?
With the takes. What up, sis? I feel like that's what this is. I feel like nobody fucking asked you these two questions together. I feel like he added in something that he knew that hip hop purists would like give him more favor back for, to have it be able to try to calm down. Yeah, because there's no way they asked you these two questions to get anyway.
No way they did that shit. No way.
In a recent interview with NPR, Quest clarified his feelings on the historic beef after
with who?
Post NPR.
I did an
after some of his posts about it on X drew criticism. Quest previously wrote that no one, quote, won the war and that, quote, hip-hop is truly dead. According to Quest, he was triggered by the feud, referring to what he saw this play out. What? Referring to what he saw this play out. It's supposed to say when. Yeah, it's supposed to say when. Referring to when he saw this play out in the 90s when Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. were killed during their vicious feud. Quote, I was there at the Social Awards when the shit really hit the fan in 95, and I was there in 97. This was a what now moment for hip hop. Tupac and Biggie embroiled in a battle. I've never seen a battle in which it ends well. He continued, we're living in a polarizing time. We're living in a time right now where World War III can easily break out at any moment. We're living in a time when civil war can break out at any moment in the United States. We're living in a time where the uncertainty of something jumping off is just in the air. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's like I've seen this movie before and I'm triggered. The after effect of Tupac and Biggie was just a 30-year travel into darkness. Quest clarified that hip hop isn't dead, as such artists such as Lil Sims, Westside Gunn, Toby Nwigwe, and more are keeping the culture alive. Also in the interview, Quest spoke about, we're not even reading that because I feel like, again, I'm not throwing you that bill. No. Here's the thing.
No.
You're wrong.
You were wrong.
And you're still wrong.
Yeah, like we're not doing
like
that.
You didn't change your clarification. All right.
Yo, excuse me. I was there when Pac and Big died.
Nigga.
It was a whole bunch of us. A whole bunch of us. Like, stop it, yo. Stop it.
Did LL Cool J or Cannabis die?
No.
Did Cannabis or Eminem die?
No.
50 Cent Ja Rule?
No.
And they couldn't.
And that shit could have, yeah.
That was something that actually was. Yeah. Okay. Jada and Beans.
Jay-Z and Nas.
None of those people are dead.
Hold up. Kumo D and LL Cool J.
Right.
Like, what
Drake and Meek Mill.
Yo.
Drake and Pusha T.
Rock
and Common.
Tyler the Creator.
None of this. Like, so you're talking about 30 years since. Well, every beef that I just named was within that 30-year span.
Yes.
So what are we talking about?
I don't know. I know what we talking about. I don't know what this motherfucker talking about. That's specialist bullshit. Y'all, every so often you.
No, I know these. I do know what he's talking about. I'm not going to be disingenuous.
No,
I'm still not manning him, but I know what he's talking about. What he's talking about
drill rap.
These drill, like right. That's not the same thing.
No,
like to just again I don't remember exactly how I said it the first time he said this dumb shit, but every beef that is ended in loss of lives was something that started with real life implications.
Yeah.
Even some of the ones that have started with real life implications didn't result in loss of life.
Facts.
But all of the ones that did started with real life. You had never heard of a beef where one of the two principal artists and their immediate inner circle was harmed because of the beef, because of something that started on wax.
Right.
That's just not what has happened. Like, even with this Rick Ross thing, bro. Like, even with this Rick Ross thing, it was less about, first of all, it wasn't about Ross's song. And it wasn't really even about Kendrick's song.
Nope.
It was the energy that Ross gave to the people, and they gave back, and Ross,
I'm in your town,
acting as if he couldn't be touched.
I'm in your town, and I do what I want to do. It's Ricky Rose, and
his security got
I got security. Look at this big security.
He got hands put on him, and his security got sat down. Not laid down, just sat down. Just sat down.
He had to reevaluate.
Yeah, like even the
DJ got touched too.
Yeah, the DJ was there, like in the immediate vicinity. Yeah, he got touched. I don't think he got sat down, but he got touched.
No, he got touched though. He did.
Yeah, he got touched. But I mean, niggas fight every day, dude.
Niggas fight every day. But my beef with Ross was that when you are the principal, you are the person that all the people will come to see. You are the bag.
Yeah.
It is your responsibility as much as it's the responsibility of security to make sure everybody gets home safe.
Everybody get home safe, including
the security. So
now your security is there in the case that you slip up.
That's it. But just still around you, right?
Still your immediate responsibility because they're with you.
Yeah.
It's still your immediate responsibility to make sure they get home safe.
Yeah.
So, and on top of that, I ain't gonna hold you. You got your jaw tapped because you was trying to cosplay 50 Cent.
Yeah, he was.
Because you ain't had nothing to do with what was going on.
No, that lean in he was doing while he was talking shit, it was basically poking your chin out to get touched.
Right. You're making the target bigger.
Yeah.
And let's be honest. Let's be real. Unless you a super fan of Rick Ross, he's not relevant in this beef.
Nah, this does nothing to do.
He was literally just the hype man. Like, that's all.
And this the other thing too. My guy, you cosplaying 50 Cent without understanding something about 50 Cent. 50 got hands. 50 got hands. Like, that's the thing. You're not mirroring that. You want to mirror 50 Cent? Hit the gym. Hit the gym. You want to cosplay 50? Hit the gym.
Both the regular gym and the boxing gym.
You know what I'm saying? Like you over there looking like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but then you sticking your chin out further than your hands go. Nigga, what are we doing?
It's easy to talk about what people ain't gonna do when they're not doing it. It's real easy to talk about what people ain't gonna do when they're not doing it. I'm just saying. Listen, I'm just saying. It's easy. Like, it's super easy to talk about what niggas not gonna do when ain't nobody thinking about doing it.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what my uncle said and shit. Motherfuckers talking about, because I was mad. My uncle was like, my uncle was like, a lot of motherfuckers get mad and then wake up the next day with lumps and shit all the time.
It's facts though. It's just the facts on the ground. Like, I don't like. I understand. Like, I understand there's a certain level of bravado,
especially
that is supposed to be inherent
when you're an American black.
Yeah, you're an American black hip hop artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. There's a level.
You've been cosplaying an actual drug dealer for years now,
and you won your case against him.
Yeah.
Like, there's I get it. I get it. But again, real easy to talk about what niggas not gonna do when ain't nobody thinking about doing nothing.
You know the thing that's crazy about that? So even with all of the cosplaying he's been doing of the real Rick Ross and 50 Cent and all that, we've seen this before. Take Dick Grayson. You know, there was a time when Dick Grayson had to put on the cap, the cape and the cowl.
Yep.
You know why he pulled that off? Because he could actually fight.
He could back it up.
He could actually fight. You know what I'm saying? So when he puts it on, he's cosplaying Batman, to be sure.
Facts.
What?
Absolutely.
He's fully invested in the role. He could already fight as Robin.
Listen.
You, sir, are not 50. You are not Rick Ross. You couldn't do this. And
outside of somebody being blood related to Bruce Wayne, Dick Grayson is the closest thing to a Batman that exists.
Right.
He can do that.
He can do that. You can't do that. Yo, you first of all, you're not in the best of shape, sir. And every time I see you on Instagram, you doing that.
Yo, you know what's funny?
I don't never see you exercising. You ain't
every time I see him, he's a different shape.
You know what?
No, listen. No, listen. I'm not that shape.
Because the other day he was square. And then the day after that he was triangle.
And then he got folded. Oh.
Like origami and shit.
Wow.
My bad, I'm sorry. But no, yo, it pisses me off, right? It just pisses me off when you instigating somebody else shit. And it's rewarding to see you get what you deserve.
Because there's a bigger principle.
Right.
There's a bigger principle. The bigger principle is, regardless of how people feel, whose side they on with the Drake and the Kendrick shit, that don't mean nothing.
Right.
There's a solid principle there. If you in my house, watch how you talk to me.
Thanks.
Watch how you talk to me.
Simple.
It's really simple.
On top of that, you give credence to dumbass takes like the one Quest had.
Yeah.
Because you instigated that.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with you. Like, I get it. You Drake's on your op list. Cool. Fine. You don't hear none of these other niggas. Yo, Metro and Future put out 2 fucking albums about not liking Drake.
Yes.
You don't hear nobody else that was on any of them other fucking albums still doing this shit that Rick Ross doing.
True.
You don't hear nobody else.
He cosplaying 50, yo.
He cosplaying 50 Cent. Because 50
Trying to
Cent
troll,
has a habit of fucking terrorizing everybody he gets into a beef with.
Yeah.
And once, and it was like he wasn't even like this until he got into a beef with 50.
You never saw
say he might have won.
Though.
Right.
You never saw
say he might have won. So because that, it got to his head,
and
now he trying to take on that. Like, bro,
if I was him though, like if I was him, like I understand that this is a big part of his brand. His music isn't overly relevant to today's audience the way it used to be. So you stay in the algorithm when you do shit like that, but you gotta be smart with it. And this is the reality, yo. When you go home at night and you take off that cosplay, you still you.
Yeah.
You still you.
Yeah.
You know what you can handle and what you can't.
Thanks.
The moment you get delusional enough to think you can go into somebody else's spot, be disrespectful and keep this posture about you that you this and that. When it kick off, the cosplay ain't gonna help you, bro. You know what I mean? Yo, you know how many niggas I grew up with who wanted to be part or thought of as a certain type of nigga, but because we knew you, the first thing if some shit kick off, we say is, yo, go home. Go home.
Right.
No, yo, because you don't gotta do that.
No.
You don't gotta do that. Go home. Go home. Go home.
You was who you was when you got here.
Yeah, you ain't don't feel like, yo, we love you, yo.
Yeah.
We're not mad at you, but we also know this is not
it's not your bag. And here's the other thing Rick Ross doesn't take into account. Didn't, clearly. You control 50. 50 got shit to lose.
Yes, he does.
50 just gonna troll you back.
Yep.
Some random motherfucker in Nova Scotia ain't what you he in the crowd, fam.
And he got free healthcare.
Right. Like, what are you talking about? What do you think? Why
he get his shit wired. If he need to get his shit wired, it ain't gonna come out of his check directly. It's gonna come out through his taxes. Like,
hey, listen. I mean,
you an American. Like you know it.
Officer Ricky, you should know better.
Officer, yo, how many times you had to walk past that infirmary, Officer Ricky, and you saw the results what happened when niggas was inside the
how many times you had to separate niggas when somebody was above their britches?
Facts.
Come on now. You know, don't have amnesia now, because never mind. It's cool. It's cool.
Hold up, there's one more thing about that though that needs to be questioned. Just from a psychological standpoint. Yeah. And Chrissy might be the person to be able to answer that. If you pretend to be something you're not for long enough, do you eventually convince yourself?
I think so.
That's a yikes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's a yikes.
I think so.
Makes sense because your brain is the most powerful thing, and you can't control your brain.
Yeah.
So if you're
actively putting stuff into it,
you're feeding this and giving it the impetus to this is the pattern that we've established.
Also, think about how much we're affected by other people.
Right.
Like
that's
what
true.
other people say about us.
That's true.
If you're that affected by other people, that much power.
So basically, you're getting hit from both sides because let's say you have convinced yourself you are this, and then you are so good at the cosplay, you have convinced others around you. So now it's like this feedback loop going around. I'm the baddest man alive. I'm the baddest man alive, and then this shit's like a wave.
So you just continue to put that up.
Right.
Yeah.
But that wave carries you up to Mike Tyson's doorstep. You said, I'm the baddest man alive. And Mike Tyson right there, all your people's right there. You believe in yourself. I'm the best man alive. Don't worry. I'm dreaming.
But I'm so sick of people using phrases and words that have to do with mental health.
Oh, sure.
It's just not always there.
No, sure, absolutely.
Like, don't say imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Just say that you're stupid. It's not always a mental illness. It's not always part of a diagnosis.
Right.
Sometimes
that's a recent pet peeve of mine too. I hear people do it, and it be the most disingenuous motherfuckers too. A lot of times I hear use that shit to try to denigrate the people that they disagree with. So the first thing they do is they pull out a diagnosis out their ass and say, "Oh, this person is this person, is this, or you need to heal, or some shit like that." And it's like, yo, calm down. There ain't a single degree in your back pocket. Yo, calm down. Relax.
Relax, my guy.
Relax.
Wait, but I thought about something when you mentioned Mike Tyson. He's kind of a litmus test if you want to see if a nigga dumb or not, though.
Ooh.
I ain't gonna hold you.
He's a Darwin test.
Facts. Because when people are around him, you find out how smart they are. It is held true. Any interview you see, any podcast you see where he's on there and there's somebody else on there that proclaims to be tough.
Yeah, buddy.
They tuck their shit in.
Dude, they smart as shit, ain't they?
They tuck their shit in for that moment. And even if they start, when he get calm, they calm.
Yeah. He brings it down, yo. He bring it all down. Right? No. Listen. This is what I need. This what I need you to understand.
I hate you so much.
I am the barometer of violence here. And anger and rage and wrath. If I go high, you go low. You calm that shit down. Calm that shit down, nigga. Calm that shit down.
Yo, when he be talking to niggas directly like that, I be like, listen, my guy, I hope you listening.
I get scared for them.
Yeah, facts.
I'm like, yo, if this nigga get up,
I hope he don't
you
buck.
will never
Please
get up again.
don't buck. Like,
Never
yo,
get
just
up
accept it. You have been defeated. It is over.
Oh, apex predator in you. Now you might be in the middle of the pack, right? The middle of the pack. You gonna swing on the deer when the deer come and all that. But he is the apex predator of all of this shit here. That means not only does he prey on the deer, he'll prey on you. He'll prey on you. Chill, yo. Chill.
He's at the top of the food chain.
Chill. And listen, nobody will call you bitch. That's
that's not
Tyson.
That's the thing. You don't hit very rarely. There's been like one or two cases ever
people, bro,
in recorded history where somebody was like, man, you such the Mike Tyson. And people they let them say what they say and they let them go about their life because they understand that something is unwell with them because they don't understand.
Motherfuckers don't get. We're talking about the entire species.
Yeah.
We're talking about it's been one or two.
Yeah, it's been one or two.
Before you get something else close to him, you have to cross species. We talking like gorillas and shit. Like and bears. Like that's it. This is not what you want, man. This is not what you want. It's
like
not
the whole LL and cannabis beef. That was once.
Yeah, right.
Once. And then I think there was the time when the Locks was talking about they was gonna have to jump him and shank him.
I remember that.
That was the second one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was the third one too. There was the third one too with Beanie in there.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and Beanie was like, "We understand this."
Yeah, facts. Because even those aren't really full out.
And this is prime Beanie, by the way, y'all. Mm-hmm. For those of y'all that was not around for that or was paying attention at the time, who Beanie Siegel was before he got hurt,
right?
This is prime Beanie. Anybody in the game would tell you. It was especially two niggas you did not want to swing on or cause the swing on you at that point. It was Beanie and Bumpy Knuckles.
Facts.
No.
It's in the name.
No. It's in the name.
It's in the name.
It's in the name. No, absolutely not. If those of you who don't know who Bumpy Knuckles is, if you follow wrestling for a while, he had a song with John Cena where they was at in the video they was at, like they was the A-Team. He was B.A. Baracus. Listen, his rep was solid. Like, oh no, Bumpy was knocking out bouncers. So, like, nah.
This whole thing. All right.
Leave Mike alone.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Again, it's not a warning that we have to give. Most people understand.
Like you said, it's a litmus test for intelligence, yo.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Like, just get next to Mike Tyson. We'll see how smart you are. So, all right. I guess we'll go into it. So how? All right. How do I want to do this? Because what I. All right. So obviously, y'all know I have shit written down for us to react to and shit like that. But before we get started, actually, no, I'm just gonna jump into it.
My question is, do we have to do this?
Yeah. We absolutely have to do it because we all listen to this goddamn album.
Unfortunately.
So we're gonna have to talk about it.
We gotta talk about it.
The death of Slim Shady. So just chime in whenever you feel like.
I do have a review too, so just do what you do, and yeah, I got a review.
All right, so I have officially become socially conscious enough that it actively conflicts with the hip hop head in me. And when I say actively, let me explain. It's been a long journey, but I remember the times when if one of my favorite rappers said something crazy on the song, it wasn't that I didn't recognize it was something crazy or nothing like that. I'm talking about as an adult. Wasn't that I didn't recognize it was crazy, but my first instinct used to be to try to find out what the bigger picture is. Why would they be saying this? Why would they be like, what is the point behind them saying this? The first time that changed was when Kendrick put his last album out.
Right.
And we talked about it on the show. In a song called Auntie Diaries, Kendrick uses the F word, that's a slur for gay people, 10 times in the song.
Okay.
I came on this very show and expressed how I did not like it and how I thought it was lazy. Because my argument is not the super sensitive argument. My argument is, well, I didn't turn into one of those people who doesn't see the bigger picture. Because there are people who are disingenuous and don't acknowledge the bigger picture, but there are also people who are like, no, it doesn't matter at all in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter what other picture. So, but I'm not one of those people that doesn't see the bigger picture. The entire point of that song, Auntie Diaries, was him embracing the change that his aunt went through and pointing out the issues she went through along her journey and all that. I fully understand that. And my position is still, you didn't have to use that word. It fit in the context, but you choosing to use it instead of getting your point across in another way is just lazy.
Context is everything. It's the crux of all of this shit, specifically with this album.
Yeah. Especially given the level of skill and artistry Kendrick displayed throughout his career. You can't tell me that a literary Pulitzer Prize winner couldn't find another way to express what he was trying to express without using that word 10 times in that song.
What if he said to you, who has a Pulitzer, me or you? I'm telling you, this is the only way it's gonna.
Yeah, nah, ain't no way. Nah, you wrong. People can be wrong. Hey, listen, you wrong on this one, big dog.
Look, if I was him, I would have used that. Listen,
I get it. Listen, I get it.
But no, I agree with you.
You're wrong on that one.
I'm right.
There's another way.
You don't have to do that.
You don't have to specifically, and you didn't have to do it 10 times. Like if you would have did it once,
bingo.
Maybe that's like
that would have made the point. You don't need that's you can't be stacking.
Yeah. All right. So with progression, though, here's where the crux of this lies, though. With progression come limitations. Yeah. Those limitations are born out of expectations. If Kendrick wasn't so skilled, this would be less of a problem. Still a problem, but it would be less of a problem.
Right.
If it hadn't been so late in his career, this would be less of a problem.
Right.
Because the fact that you are as good as you are with words and the fact that you are older and have experienced things in real life means that this was a complete choice for you.
Right.
You had other options available to you that a younger or less skilled artist might not have necessarily had. Enter Eminem. Now, it is no secret that at one point, Eminem was my favorite rapper. The Marshall Mathers LP was the first album that I ever bought.
Wow. You damn baby.
Okay. What the fuck? His run from Some Shady LP to the Eminem Show was ridiculous. After that is when he started to lose me.
And we also not gonna we're not really hearing a lot of the revisionists talk about that period either.
Nah, I'm not even.
Y'all niggas be doing the most right now.
Y'all lying.
Y'all lying. They're lying.
It's cool to say I'm cool, I guess. But now to this project. So here's my big thing. With concept albums, I prefer that the stronger and more specific the concept, the higher the percentage of songs I need to be related to it.
Facts.
with something as strong as I was terrible and now I'm acknowledging that and moving forward, and for him to make a tweet, he came out, he don't tweet. He made a tweet emphasizing that this is a concept album and that listening to it in order is the only way that it will make sense.
Guess it did. Go ahead.
Listening to it in order is the only way it'll make sense. If you say that, I need every song to fit into the theme. It don't gotta be the strongest connection to the theme,
but it need to have
if you
some
say
connection
that,
to it.
Right.
Every song has to have some connection to the theme, and I don't believe we got that. The I don't a news site, The Independent.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of summed up how I feel about this album almost perfectly. They said this album was created so that Marshall Mathers could have his cake and eat it too. To indulge his earlier purposefully offensive wordplay under the guise of struggling against the shady persona within. The reality is this was the worst of both worlds. So, for this album to be as long as it was, where is the progression? You said we need to listen to this song in order, and that is the only way that it would make sense.
You know, if you wouldn't have said it was a progression album, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah. Also, for those of you, if you don't have a reference for what SBJ is saying, please, when you get the chance, and trust me, you'll thank me for it, go find the album released in 2001 by Sticky Fingers called Black Trash, the autobiography of Kirk Jones.
Yeah.
This is how you do a concept album where every song
is, the Cool, Lupe Fiasco.
The Cool. These
are concept albums, and in Sticky's example, the concept is very, 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 very specific.
Yes.
And he nails it.
It's a movie.
In Lupe's example, the concept is less specific.
Yep. And he still nails it.
Because it's based off of a song from his previous album. It's a character he created in that previous album on the song The Cool. And he uses that character, and he is going from the perspective of that character. The entire album fits under that concept. Yes. So again, for this album to be as long as it was, and you said we need to listen in order.
Nigga shitted out 19 tracks.
And again, there are 2 bonus tracks somewhere.
And I went to the website and couldn't find it, so maybe I just
okay.
I didn't really look that up, but I did go to the website, you know.
I already knew I was going to be irritated.
Well, I mean, listen.
Why didn't anyone listen to it?
I get it. Listen, this is what happened, right? A little backstory on how we got here. So, because of Kendrick Lamar and Drake, and all right, to be fair, all of it can't be because of them two, but a lot of this is because of Kendrick and Drake. Niggas been rapping,
and we not talking about just today's niggas.
No.
The last few weeks, I've been seeing Rakim drop music. I've seen LL Cool J drop music. I've seen Corrupt, Common. Listen,
niggas been rapping.
They rapping.
And again, some of it is coincidental because like the West Side Connection album,
yes,
that was already playing. Yes. But the one video that me and Tim was watching that came out after the beef started, and them niggas was rapping. Lady of Rage. They was doing their rapping. They was rapping. So I came across the and M started putting out his promotional stuff after the beef started. So it's like, all right, we know an album is coming. And then I ran across this tweet that had this list. Matter of fact, let me go over this list. Now, mind you, I'm not going to read all of the stuff. It's a bunch more stuff on here, but yesterday was like a ridiculous day for music releases. Yesterday, the tweet says, it's from Oh no, I don't know who they are. Never mind. I'm not giving them no shout out. Who the tweet says, who's getting the first listen tonight? Eminem, The Death of Slim Shady, Drake and Gordo.
I saw something like that too.
Don Toliver and Soy Fago, Kanye and Consequence, Claro, Kid Cudi, Action Bronson, Lil Baby, Lil Yachty, and a couple other niggas. Katy Perry, Russ, Common and Pete Rock. Like it's just it's a long ass list.
Common and Pete Rock drop.
Right.
Like yo,
it's a long ass list. And it's like, oh, that's all coming out on one day. All right. So because there were a couple on there I wanted to listen to, I just went with the first one that was on there, and that was the Eminem one. Mm-hmm. That's how we got here.
Your fault.
I got 2 or 3 tracks in, and I was like, yeah, we gotta talk about this. Okay, so like I said, he says you gotta listen to it in order for it to make sense. However, follow me here. He kills Slim in track 13. Of 19.
Yep.
More on that later, because that's the thing. And then in track 16, he raps the words, 1 minute you're here, next minute you're gone. Don't sit there and scoff, little bitch. You can knock the shit about me being immature off. It isn't my fault. The liquor is often twisting my thoughts. You said you're looking for miniature golf. Thought you said you're looking for minute jerk off. So, because the way that you were presenting this was that the stupid immature for immature sake horrorcore shit
basically horrorcore
was Slim. That is how you were presenting this. This ain't something people just pulled out their ass. And there is precedent. If you actually listen to his fucking work, it makes sense. It is how he has framed it for a while. This didn't just come out of nowhere. So, but you killed him 3 tracks earlier.
Yeah.
Why you still okay? Let's get to some more of these unfortunate lyrics. I think it's safe to say, and correct me if y'all feel differently. I think it's safe to say that Marshall Mathers has reached his old man yells at cloud stage in his career.
Yeah. I think so. Listen, the reason I think so is because I've long since reached mine.
But yours
and
is
he's
different.
younger than me.
Yours is different, though. It's not the same.
The reason mine is different than his is because I'm a black guy that was born on the East Coast. He's a white guy that was born in a trailer park in the Midwest. So there's going to be some differences there. But there are certain, it may not be some of the same topics. Mm-hmm. There's some stuff I'm yelling at the cloud about too.
Sure.
And the stuff that he's yelling at the cloud about as well. Although I have to say, yikes to some of the stuff he's mad at. Like I'm mad at the system. I'm mad at this and that.
Right.
Motherfuckers can't really work you, P. Like there's nothing.
All right, let's go to this track list. Renaissance. The album, given everything I had heard about it, everything he had specifically chosen to tell us about it,
right?
It started off confusing to me,
right?
Because the name of the first track is Renaissance, aka Revival, which is actually the first album that Eminem really put out that was universally panned.
Yeah,
since he came back to rapping. Also an album where he really wasn't doing the Slim Shady shit.
Right.
He wasn't doing that on that album. He also wasn't really doing that on this song. And he was using his current style in his current content. All the dark, cringy, horrorcore stuff doesn't really show up in this song. He mentions death at the very end, but that's it. And outside of slightly mentioning a description of Slim in the beginning, I don't feel like this song really had much to do with the goddamn concept, especially not to start the album off.
Right.
Like, it's just kind of crazy to me. Next song, Habits. The concept starts on this song. Slim kidnaps Eminem. And here go the tired cliches. Fuck whoever is offended. He says the R word for mentally challenged people. He responds to the fact that he said that word. He says the M word for little people. That was only a 3-bar stretch. That was 3 bars. And within 3 bars, all of that happened. Yeah. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I get it. I get it. That kind of.
You know what's funny about that? When you grow, your awareness grows. You begin to outgrow and not fit where you used to sit before. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening with you, me, when we listen to a lot of stuff it says. Like when I was a much smaller person.
Right.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. When I was a child, I thought I was a child.
And I started expanding where I thought, I'm like, and the other difference is, not to draw a direct comparison, but we're not spectators.
Yeah.
We've had one. So our perspective on how you can arrive at the same emotional context in the song without having to do that would be different than a spectator who doesn't rap, has only been listening to it, doesn't understand the mechanics of how to do the shit. And they be only because it's not in their wheelhouse. It's not something they think about all the time to even build up that information about it. But I see a lot of different avenues he could have went with this song.
Yes.
And got the same emotional.
Got the same feeling
without
or a very similar one.
Right.
And here's the thing. Let me say this because I don't want the two things to be confused and I don't want anything to be misconstrued. There was very little wrong mechanically with
that's what I want to talk about and you too as well, because what will happen is people will conflate all of these things together in your one criticism, not realizing you have a multifaceted take on each one of these tracks and on the album on the album as a whole.
Right.
Like, so let's stipulate this. Eminem
let's do that first.
Eminem can rap his ass off.
Eminem can rap. Eminem has always been able to rap. I don't
all
think
y'all
that's ever
running
going
around
to change.
like he can't rap. Badlam.
I don't want to. No, fuck that. It's like the post that just Chris made, and he was like, "It's people talking about M coming at Kendrick. Do you think M can handle a beef with Kendrick?" I said, "Listen, I think I know what they're talking about, and if they're talking about what I'm talking about, they have no business even talking about a rap battle between Eminem and Kendrick Lamar because they don't understand bars."
They don't have.
Didn't even listen to what he said.
They don't have a hip hop IQ, yo. They don't. They don't.
It's just so. Again, there's very little mechanically wrong. Very little. I think I mentioned one or two things in this entire go through of the track list. Like he's still Eminem, and we'll get to it. So in the next verse of that song, he gives us the gem quote. I'm about as much of a boy as Bruce Jenner is, because I'm not a boy. I'm a man, bitch. Man, bitch. Ha ha. All right. So we have said this on the show. You not liking or not agreeing with something that someone does that has nothing to do with whatever protected class they are a part of does not give you license to attack the protected class that they're a part of. That's not how that's supposed to work. That's not how genuine people operate. Like there are many things to attack Caitlyn Jenner about,
nigga.
Myriad things.
You could have did something else. And you know what I wrote when the songs that I did listen to, because I didn't make it through the whole album. You could always just shut up.
I mean,
wait, hold on for a second.
You could just
that's an option?
Right, and then I thought about it with him and the R word, because that's a big thing. And people have been putting that in music for so long.
Yeah.
And for millennials, we were saying it too.
Yeah.
With Black Eyed Peas,
Facts.
Sierra, like we were saying it too. Now it's causing a big uproar. Even Sierra now performing, it is causing an issue. So why now are you releasing a new album, new music, and doing it? Like, I don't necessarily have a problem with people saying it.
Sis, it's ridiculous.
In old context, like old music.
Right.
But the fact that you came out with something new.
Completely. You wrote this recently.
You did.
You chose, again,
it's crazy.
It goes back to what I was saying earlier. You made a specific choice. Like,
choices, bro. As an artist, you have choices.
You have choices.
Also, can we get this out the way real quick too? Because there's always going to be these people who are going to pretend that society only just started to change.
Right.
In every era of time, society shifts.
Yeah.
Morals change. We either know certain things better than we did before, so we change the way we think about it, even if it's not that first layer of the generation. It's the generation that comes after that once the knowledge is there, it then like permeates down to the rest of the people, and they go, oh yeah, we don't think about that the same way anymore. This has ever been the case. Some of you fucking apes, some of you fucking apes that are longing for this time period, 50 years ago or whatever, you sound goofy and you sound like dinosaurs. And you know what happened when they couldn't adapt? Because it's kind of hard to adapt to an asteroid. Like, it's a little difficult to adapt to asteroid. I give them that. But you see what happened when they couldn't do that shit, right? Like, y'all, the way y'all go kicking and screaming into the new paradigm, as if you think you're going to change things.
Yeah,
you're not. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to disadvantage yourself.
Yeah, because you're going to alienate
yourself. Right.
You're going to alienate. All right. So, see, I'm not even done with this first song. So next, and it's funny because literally the next thing I have written down is, and because this will already be long enough, in the last verse, he does all these things in the last verse. Refers to shaming and mansplaining as gibberish, makes fun of pronouns, says that attractive women who get hit on by men that they think are ugly are crying rape, and calls them clout chasers, reduces being trans to playing dress up, and to try and still man the idea that he's just kidding and nobody cares negatively about trans people, acknowledges that he feels people have a problem with the R words for mentally challenged people and the R word that is rape. Then says both of them in the next line, along with randomly throwing in the M word for little people, only to a couple bars later do a red herring as if he's going to apologize for it, and then talking about beating a little person up. Then, whether intentionally or unintentionally, shows sympathy to DaBaby, Dave Chappelle, and somebody named Colin, and I can only hope that he is not trying to compare the bigotry of the other two to Colin Kaepernick protesting against police brutality, but I can't be sure because I can't think of another person named Colin that would fit into being quote unquote canceled.
Right.
So I can hope that that's not what he's doing, but I don't have many options. The only person I can think of is Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that song.
That was the first time I stopped the album. And then I was like, all right, I gotta get a little bit. I gotta try.
You know, the thing that's crazy about all of that too is that people will unironically make the attempt to say, oh, well, it's just music, this is just that. Meanwhile, he's touching on topics that weren't just music. They weren't just, you know what I'm saying? So it's one thing when you start blending in reality with your art in this way. I learned that a long time ago too. I talk about a lot of reality-based things, about things that's happening in society. There's a certain way to approach these topics because at the end of the day, these are real people that's connected to these real things. And if you say these things, real people will be affected by it or will feel a way about that shit. So
and you're too talented.
You're too talented. Yeah.
To do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, next song. Trouble. This song is less specifically offensive. There's only one verse. Slim says, fuck a bunch of different groups of differently abled people. M tries to stop him. There's a Christopher Reeves diss. You're going to hear that a lot. Interestingly, through my overall view of the album, Slim mentions, quote, you thought you were dreaming, end quote. More on that later. Next song, Brand New Dance. The entire song is a Christopher Reeves diss. And believe it or not, he does this with less class than he used to do it. It's like he sat down and wrote down how Christopher got injured and then wrote down a bunch of words that relate to being paralyzed and then decided to make a song about it. And it's like, this is... And please understand that I don't personally fit into most of the categories of people that he's attacking.
Yeah.
It's less about me personally being offended and more about me being bored.
Yo, I think that sums up a huge portion of my review of the album. With the few exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there.
Yeah.
And
this is old hat.
And also,
and it's worse hat. Like, you're
it.
not doing it with the level of creativity that you used to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's literally shock value for shock value sake. At least back then, it was a vessel through which to get out your talent.
Right. And you showed a bunch of talent back then, regardless of how people trying to rewrite the history of it. Now you showed a bunch of talent back then, even doing that, which is, I think, why you got such a defense from your fan base and people of that nature, because it was so good. But what you got to realize is that a lot of people that was in that fan base have grown up since then. They've had a change of heart when it comes to certain things. And when they sit back and listen to that, what winds up happening is the people who typically have a beef with groups of people saying, hey, you know, all them years where you called us these names, we got to be honest with you now. We never liked it.
Right.
We never liked it.
No time
liked it.
That I go through any of these old M songs in the moment, in real time, not in hindsight, and be like, it's great that he's saying such and such. No, it was that this was a dope rhyme.
This is a dope rhyme.
The way he put this together was slick as shit.
And also, cool. The music, y'all gonna learn one day that music is a marriage.
Yeah.
Between the lyrics and the backtrack.
Mm-hmm.
So the more experienced I got into this stuff is the more I started to realize, nigga, I want both with rare exceptions. I want both.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
While I'm also going, ooh, while my face is doing this.
I also want to bring up something that I've often said in defense of Eminem that still stands. I don't know if it's going to sound like a defense given the album that we're talking about, but I've always, the idea of people with this revisionist history about him, I think that some of it is complete revisionist history, and I think some of it is a thing that I personally have a problem with. I feel like the idea that you not being able to 100% relate to the topic that someone's talking about, meaning that it's trash, is 1000% bullshit. You're a boring person and you don't have an imagination. because that doesn't make sense. That's not how anything in life works. There are other things. Like matter of fact, I had this argument on the show with Eddie because he was talking about some of his favorite artists, and I'm like, you don't do those things, right? You do not do those things. There might be things that you want to do, but it's not you relating. That's just wish fulfillment. That's you living vicariously.
If that was true, all those white suburban kids that was listening,
come on,
goddamn well, they was not relating on a personal level.
That's not how that works. That's not how
anything.
That's not how any of these forms of entertainment works. No. That is supposed to be a bonus. That's not supposed to be a requirement.
There are times when it is a bonus. Like, for instance, when I read any Thor comics, I do feel personally connected to the Asgardians. No, I don't. Y'all gotta chill. Y'all really gotta chill, man.
I've always hated that argument. Because the first argument that most black people try to make when they try to chill with Eminem, he was talking about killing his mother. I don't relate to that shit. No shit. Like, what are you talking about?
I will argue that there is a very small percentage of humans that relate to killing their moms.
And on top of that, we know he didn't do it.
Right.
And he didn't do it.
She's still alive. What are you talking? More on her in a minute. Anyway, next song.
Hold up. To be clear, you about to talk about Eminem mama?
I'm about to talk about his mama.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Just checking.
He's 5'9". Anyway. Next song, Evil. This song is just him saying he's on drugs again and taking more shots at random people. For instance, I think this is his third Caitlyn Jenner attack on the album. He also disses people who appear on the album a couple times throughout the album. So I'm assuming he cleared that with them ahead of time. And it's this thing that they do where it's like, see, this person can take a joke.
Yep.
No, that's not how this works. This person can take a joke because A, they're your friend, or B, they need you for some reason. Yeah. Yes, it's possible that there's a C. They really can take. They do appreciate this type of.
All that's subjective as fuck.
Yes,
subjective.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, what do you know?
I hate when these people position themselves to be the arbitrator of objective reality when what we're talking about is subjective.
These are individual human beings. Any individual can feel the way that they feel about any particular thing.
Also, can you just at this point talk about something different? Like, how many times do you have to mention Caitlyn Jenner? How many times do you have to mention
this is 1,
gay
2,
people, 3, people? Like,
4.
How many times?
This is track 4, and you've mentioned her 3 times.
That's crazy.
That's
why is she living rent free in your head?
Yeah, there's nothing else much to see here. Next song, all you got is just a skit about Slim and M arguing, which would have been great because it's furthering the concept. In any other situation, I would have been happy about this skit because it's like, yes, you're furthering the concept that you promised us.
That's what I was thinking too.
Okay, so next song, Lucifer. He attacks people he supposedly made amends with. This is the second time that he potentially throws a shot at his mother, which I thought he was done with after Marshall Mathers LP2. He had an entire song dedicated to her. And concept album or not, this kind of lowers how I feel about that song on that album now because you've come back and done this.
Right.
Then he tries to turn the microscope around and attack people who criticize him because they talk about people behind people's backs instead of in public. So what am I supposed to just talk about people behind their back instead? Like, shut the fuck up. That's not, you don't understand. You not understanding that actually does track. I do believe you don't understand that because of all the rumors and being substantiated by people who are close to him about how he's a hermit. So he doesn't really have a social life. I do believe that he doesn't understand that, but you're wrong. Like, you're wrong here.
You can have all of those things and still be wrong.
Yes. And then he cries about freedom of speech, which is probably the second or third time so far on the album. All right, next song, Antichrist. Makes fun of pronouns again, confuses gender or sexuality, uses woke as a pejorative, makes a joke about him being on Epstein's jet, goes at Diddy, but addresses the Cassidy thing in a way that made me very uncomfortable. That's a bit ironic on a song where he's shouting out Dr. Dre, but we understand how that works. Here comes the first shot at Meg Thee Stallion in track order on the album. And this was from Bizarre. And it's not surprising. It's completely old hat. And there was another Caitlyn Jenner shot. And Bizarre used the T word for transsexual that we've long agreed is not appropriate. Wrapping up Bizarre's terrible feature.
Not that talented either.
Yeah, no.
Not like he's gonna.
Yeah, he's not gonna introduce anything new to the conversation.
No.
Bizarre's terrible feature is wrapped up by that, and that's
Bizarre's terrible feature is wrapped up.
And people that know me should not be surprised.
Listen,
this is the last song I listened to.
Also to note here, he had started referring to Slim in the third person a song or two before this song. But in this song, it was very explicit that he was referring to Slim in the third person. And direct, which starts to eat away at the concept / excuse that he is using to say the things that he's saying. Because you painted this as if, at bare minimum, this is an alter ego, extrapolated, this is a different person that is responsible for these things.
It was confusing.
When at this point you have started to refer to Slim as yourself.
Yeah,
so
confusing, bro.
It's muddled. It's poorly executed.
And it gets even more muddled when he kills him.
Oh, yeah. So, next song, Fuel.
Wait, pause. While you were saying this, what I was thinking was, it's like you didn't grow and you also don't think your fans grew. Because
that's it.
That you're still mentioning, like y'all said earlier, is stuff that I was cool with when I was a teenager.
Right.
Why are you still talking about this like we're not, well, people my age aren't almost 40?
Right.
Like,
bro, what are you talking about? Like, so
unfortunately, I looked at the streams.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of the motherfuckers ain't with you.
No, listen. I don't think I don't think it's that. I think it's that thing that we all do where we hear two conflicting takes and we say, well, which one do y'all want? Well, no, it's actually two different groups of people saying this thing. I think that's what this is. I think it's a different group of people.
I don't know because
no, not completely.
There's a lot of people on my friends list.
Yeah, absolutely.
That listen to the album.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, you could never make me hate you. Oh, I love this. This reminds me of blah, blah, blah. Like the nostalgia of it. But these are the same friends on my list that are going hard for Megan, that are going hard against trans issues and all that. And I'm like, so which one is it?
Listen to me. And this is not an indictment on either of you. I don't see that shit on my timeline.
I don't know.
And if I do, it won't be.
That's one.
I don't need y'all. Like I don't need y'all. I don't really even use social media like that.
That's 100% what it is. I told you before, my fan base has migrated to personal page and artist page. So you're gonna see what you're gonna see.
It was one specifically that I just saw actually because I was looking at my notes. And then I clicked on Facebook, and I shouldn't have done it. It was one of my friends who will literally go on TikTok and defend people that are like in those marginalized groups. But then she just posted how much she loved the album.
Yeah, I can't do it. That's
and I'm like, I'm so lost because you can like somebody and what they used to do and realize they shouldn't be doing that anymore.
Two things can be true. Two things, 24 things can be true, right? But such conflicting statements do not belong on the same platform.
Right.
Nah. Not
you can like the album, but you should not be extolling its virtue on the same platform
I think
where you are defending the people that he's attacking.
That's what's lost. What's lost is it's one thing to make a quality statement
Right, yes.
about a product and say, this is a product of great quality.
Yeah.
I like this product. On the other hand, when I went to Home Depot and bought it, it has engraved the word nigger right on the side. This is a quality walking stick. Don't give me look. This walking stick, almost unbreakable, good, sturdy, but it has nigger carved.
Right.
Like you can make a quality statement and also make a little, but damn.
Yeah.
Listen,
but I'm harsh in that way. I understand that, but nigga. So the next song pissed me the fuck off. So because again, like I said, with all the edgelord shit, it wasn't really offensive to me. It was boring because
you heard it before.
You're just doing it with less creativity than you used to do it with. So it's like there's no real reason for me to be here. This next song pissed me the fuck off because I'm confused. I don't understand why this happens. So on Spotify, for some reason, because this isn't the first time I've seen it, artists will have songs that feature a person, but their name be nowhere on the fucking song. Not just not on the song itself, but you can go into the credits of the song on Spotify and their name still be nowhere there in the credits at all.
I'm curious about that too because of the splits. Like, also, I don't know how they distribute their shit, but the way I distribute my shit, there's literally a spot right there to put the name of the other artist. It's right there. When you're uploading your music, as you go through the process, each step, right there, who's the other writer?
So
it's right there. It's
like, this song started, and I'm like, oh, okay, this sounds like Jid. But I look at the song, it doesn't say Eminem featuring Jid. I go into the liner notes. Jid's name,
which are right on
that name, nor his real name, are anywhere to be found in the liner notes. So I'm like,
that's old school. What you're doing there too is very old school because we would look at the credits.
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000.
And that's the first time I look right on the side of the screen, like, who in that? Who did that? Who composed that? That's all. It's very old school. Very old school.
Side note, I hate people.
That's not even a side note. That's the whole note.
No, actually, yes.
That's
but hold up,
note.
because I want to get this right. I want to get this 100% right because I never knew before yesterday. I never knew this nigga name. This nigga name. I hate people so much. This nigga name is Destin Choice Route.
What?
Destin Choice Route.
Bye.
The destination.
Yes, no. It could have been, or if he was a girl, it would have been Destiny.
Yeah.
Why did y'all do that to that man? Anyway,
why he do it to himself? We don't know if he did himself that name.
He could have. That's his
real
name.
Oh my God, this is an argument we had all the time.
Me and Chrissy had this argument all the time because you're an adult. You can change that shit at this point, my guy.
Yeah.
But in his defense, this is slightly different because those people that know you don't even know your name. They call you by your stage name. So yes, Destin Choice Route. Spelled that exact way. Yes.
Why?
I don't fucking know. Should I be talking about? But anyway, for those who don't know Jid is a rapper signed to J. Cole's Dreamville Records. Dope as fuck. Amazing fucking rapper. He also can sing. Like he is an amazing artist. And he did not disappoint. He killed his fucking verse. He did. And the song doesn't fit the concept at all. Nope. Jid is on here and he kills his verse as he always does, but none of it had anything to do with the concept of the album. That's not his fault, by the way. I want to be clear about that. That's not his fault. Then M, he says a wild thing or two, like he makes an extended joke about rape and sexual assault, but nothing really emphasizing or continuing the story of the concept.
It was different.
Yes. He takes another shot at Diddy, insinuating that Diddy got Big and Pac killed. So that's the second shot at Diddy. And that's the thing. If there's one criticism that I have of Eminem that I have had since been pimping, is his propensity to beat a dead horse.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm always down for some Diddy slander. let's keep that clear. But he has this tendency, nigga. He has this tendency to, like, if he brings up somebody, he'll do it 3 to 5 times in one album. And it's like, bruh, can we?
Listen, this is the thing about that, though. I think this is where he got caught up. There are stages of humor where the callback is funny, where the redundancy is funny.
Absolutely.
This ain't one of them.
Yeah, this ain't one of them. Like, bro, what are you?
This ain't one of them. This ain't one of them.
All right, so next song, Road Rage. Another Caitlyn Jenner reference. This is the fat shaming song.
Do you love her at this point? Like, I really, when people keep mentioning, I start to wonder.
Yeah,
no, I don't even be wondering now. I start wondering.
You trans? Do you love Caitlyn Jenner?
Right.
I start wondering because,
like, what is going on?
Let me tell you something. I start wondering because there's literally no reason why, if you are this way, that should occupy so much time and space.
Right.
Yes,
why they get mad when I say this, but yo, why you always got trans people
in your mouth?
Do you like the way it tastes?
Right.
Do you really want to taste it?
Or have you done it?
Yeah. Or are you defending something?
Right.
Like what's going on? Like,
you realize I could go an entire year,
nigga.
And I know people that can't go an entire day,
right,
without trying to kick
it's
that community.
It's the worst. I don't understand. So this is the fat shaming song. Ha 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 ha. Of course, he has to have a celebrity to attack, so it's Lizzo. But he doesn't really say anything. He doesn't stay on her for more than one bar.
No,
so
he just says it ain't over.
He just sends him this ain't over till Lizzo sings.
Right.
Like, okay, yes, we get. And it's such a corny joke. It's such a corny joke. And then
it's an offensive dad joke, yo. It's an offensive dad joke.
What are we doing here? How do we make a wrong turn? Like, so then here come the old tired jokes / rhetoric about fat people. Diabetes, pie eating contests, XXX size clothes, blood pressure, clogged arteries, can't tie your own shoes, etc. And if you are fat and don't like people making fun of you, either lose weight or own your fatness. Then there's another Caitlyn Jenner reference.
Yo, you don't like people making fun of you being black, stop being black. See, that's on y'all.
Right.
Okay, I know it's not a perfect analogy, but still.
No,
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Then there's another Caitlyn Jenner reference. Then there's another Christopher Reeve shot.
Bruh.
Somebody mentioned
circling the bowl.
Right. Literally.
Circling the bowl.
Wait, when did he start with the Christopher Reeve?
Start?
Early. That was early.
Eminem show? No. Maybe Eminem show.
So I know it was on Eminem show, but I was wondering if it was before then.
No, it might have been something on Marshall Mathers LP. Probably because it wasn't Slim Shady LP. So probably something on Marshall Mathers LP.
Yeah.
That probably was the first, but that was probably like one in the whole album.
That's embarrassing.
By the time he got to fucking Encore, it was like 6 or 7 of them.
Also, do you know how long Christopher Reeve has been gone?
Has been gone, right?
That's why.
Also, just so people know, do you know what kind of right? Like, do you know what kind of a really nice guy Christopher Reeve was?
Yeah, he's kind of
a nice guy.
Mike's not here. I was about to say he's kind of a mensch.
Yeah. It's kind of like, is he really worthy of that?
I just don't feel like it. Like,
Chris Reeve was a nice guy.
Like there were some funny, creative ones in the beginning, but then you kept going.
Now we're here.
Yeah.
Like,
matter of fact, what's the name of that song? I wanna read some of the lyrics of that one song.
Wait, but you know what's funny? Somebody posted that this album gave them encore vibes, and
No,
not even.
No.
And you know what?
No.
I don't know even about agreeing or disagreeing, but what I realized was at one point in time, Encore was one of my favorite albums, and it was such a troll, and I just enjoyed it. And I was in high school.
Right.
Even if that's true, I was in high school. This was over 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
let me read some of the lines of this Christopher Reeves disc, because at a certain point, I stopped really writing down lyrics. Because, anyway,
let me ask you a question. Why does Christopher Reeve when Hitler is available?
Bruh, right. Let me
Rush Limbaugh died too.
Facts. And you've had issues with Rush.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, keep in mind the song. No, I said it already. So, the name of the song is Brand New Dance. Because Christopher Reeves was a quadriplegic.
bruh,
So,
the name of the song?
So yeah, Brand New Dance. Okay. Everybody on the dance floor. Come on. That means you too, Chris. Okay. Let me see.
Yo, Stephen
You can feel it in your head down to your toes. Dance until you're wheelchair bound. Here we go. Yeah, horseback. Little do-si-do. Little bit of soul mixed with some rodeo. Everybody in the world is gonna laugh to this shit. I'll probably end up crippled after this. Clap your hands. This is the chorus. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. Everybody twirl together. Can you feel the funky beat? Everywhere you see people laughing and dancing in the street. On the count of three, everybody do the Christopher Reeves. 1, 2, 3, follow me.
Whole song.
Next verse. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man slipped, fell, landed in a garbage can. Shit, hell, damn it, I can hardly stand, but I get it cracking like nobody in the party can. Give me a beat. I'll show you all a brand new dance. All I need is the stretcher and an ambulance. Now stand back, kids. Don't try to stay home. It's a brand new craze and it's sweeping the nation. Anything else is cheap imitation. Just make sure that you videotape it. You can only do it once, but the people go ape shit. It's a crowd favorite, party pleaser. It's better than the shake of a grand mal seizure. The next time you see grandma, tease her and roll up with a fresh set of wheels all greased up. This is the bridge. If your arms, legs, feet, and your hands are numb, you've fallen and you can't get up. It's a brand new dance. This is my Chris anthem. I'm giving Chris Reeves his chrysanthemums.
Yo, 44 times, yo. Eminem has this Christopher Reeve 44 times.
It is ridiculous. And then to call it brand new dance
Bruh,
with the same
like,
tired
what are
song
we
and
doing?
dance. It's not a brand new dance, it's the old dance. And I'm tired of it.
What are we doing?
I think he just likes the way the name sounds. Like
I guess.
I'm sitting here trying to find an incident, anything.
Yeah.
I don't see any incident where him
I have no idea.
work or none of that. So I don't get it. All right.
So the next song, somebody mentioned Houdini.
No.
Mind you, again, I think it was Discord and he said Slim and Eminem merged in Houdini. Here's the thing. This is a concept album called The Death of Slim Shady, where the writer of the album came out on Twitter and said, it doesn't make sense unless you listen to it in order.
Right.
This song is before the song where he kills Slim Shady. So again, no, that is not it. So Houdini. Now this was the first single that dropped. When it came out, I was still open to hearing what exactly he was doing with the concept. Particularly agreed. Yes, I thought there was a point to be made when I heard this song. Particularly egregious to me was the attack on Meg. When I heard that, it made me think that this album wasn't going to be what I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. And it turns out I was right. But here's the thing. Meg has dissed Eminem.
Yep.
So that is why I wasn't as outraged as I normally would have been when I heard this.
But also, let me be very clear with you guys. Meg is a rapper.
Yeah, thanks.
So if another rapper, I don't give a fuck which sex it is.
Yeah, it don't got nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Diss him.
Yeah, if you said something about him, you gotta be prepared for him to say something.
Yo, shit. That's it.
Because I don't play those games. There was this discourse recently about this little tangent. There was this discourse recently about one of the episodes on the Joe Budden podcast where Melissa Ford was like quiet for like an hour on one of the episodes, and also connected to that discourse was a joke that Joe made about effectively the nigga that made the chicken got the goods. Yeah. So my thing about that, I'm sorry. If you are going to put yourself into an environment where there are specific things that go on before you arriving, you cannot try to have an attitude when not Melissa Ford. Melissa Ford didn't. It wasn't her. It was fans.
Right. It was fans.
You can't do that. That's not how this works. Somebody specifically was talking. It was a Twitter live, Spaces live, and it was different fans of the Joe Budden podcast talking. And one of the girls got on there talking about how this was lowbrow and that was lowbrow. And she also had mentioned that she has been a fan since the beginning of the podcast and had listened to every single episode. So another fan got on there and said, Kev, because there are things that go back to the beginning of the episode that were way worse than this.
Yes, more egregious.
It is just that it was a woman. And she was proven because that person came back on and said, no, I've listened to all the things that you're talking about, and I didn't have a problem with this. I like this. I like this podcast because I want to hear how guys are unfiltered in their element. Then she said, but when a woman comes on to the show, you have to change some of those things. No, the fuck you don't.
And also, she's a permanent member of the show. This
exactly. It's not a guest situation. She is a cast member.
She's in the arena where the gladiators are fighting. And because I don't see women as incapable.
Correct.
If a motherfucker says something to you and you're right, this is the time
you gotta go back.
Look stupid or address that shit right here in front of the millions of people. This is the time. That's why.
If it's a guest, that's a different story.
That's why I don't really beef so hard when rappers go out. I don't care what sex is. This is rap.
Yeah.
If that motherfucker say something about you and you ain't like it, you know what to do. That's what this is for.
Yeah. And notice
that's what that is for. Get them.
Knows the difference on what I said about M doing it and what I said on Bizarre doing it.
Yes.
Because no fucking body was talking or thinking about Bizarre.
Yeah.
Ever. Like,
here's my question because I just looked up what Megan said about Eminem because I was curious and I've heard that she dissed him and I was like, I want to know what she said.
Right.
Can't find anything. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. What I'm saying is that's kind of speaks to what y'all are saying about men versus women. Like I typed in 5 different ways. What did Megan say to Eminem?
Right.
And it all says Eminem said this about Megan. Like that's not what I said. I changed it 5 different times, and every time
it wouldn't tell you shit.
It told me nothing.
Now, contrast that. Wouldn't we say that at least today, Meg Thee Stallion is a bigger artist than who's I'm thinking of? Remember the beef between fucking Tyler the Creator and I just said
Raw Digger?
Raw Digger. Wouldn't we say that Meg is bigger than Raw Digger at this current point in history?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know that you're trying to handle this with kid gloves.
Yeah, because I'm not
Raw Digger has I'm sorry. Listen, I hear you. No, listen, I hear you. Raw Digger has never sniffed the ladder that approaches where Meg is. As far as popularity.
What I'm saying is now, when she was in her day, there was no Meg. So I'm using that as
but I'm saying,
using that
I'm saying in the totality of Raw Digga's career,
right,
and her height.
But when nobody heard of Meg,
well,
and there was no Meg,
that didn't exist. Right. But no, this is a sliding timeline. This is Marvel Comics. In the totality of Raw Digga's career,
right,
as dope as a rapper as she is,
right,
her popularity at her height,
right,
has not ever gotten close to Meg's second year out.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a comparison.
Because here's the thing. Y'all know I'm a Meg fan. I'm a big
yes.
fan. It's not even about her rapping abilities because I would argue a lot of her fans don't even like her music. Like, I'm being real. So many people have listened to the album and are like, I don't particularly like her music, but I love her. All her songs sound the same, but I love her.
I've seen this. I've literally seen
this. It's true.
I've seen this. It reminds me of Star Wars fans. They claim they Star Wars fans, but they hate everything. Just doing shit.
Like I love Meg, but she is not my favorite rapper. But based on
Star Wars,
but she's my favorite person.
right. They like the idea of Meg, right?
Right.
But what I basically was saying is, if you look up right now, Raw Digga and Tyler Creator right now, to see who said what, you'll find it.
Yeah,
you'll find it.
Yeah.
They covered that Meg shit up quick. I don't know what she said about Eminem.
Hold up. This is the thing, right? We talked about this when the Kendrick and Drake beef was in its infancy, like this version of it, not 10 years ago, when a couple months ago, when it was heating up and it was clear that this was going to be a thing.
Right.
What happens is people will put in lines in their songs that are a reference to another person and it not be as direct as some people would like it to be.
Yes.
So that is, that leads to a situation, right, where if it's a person that's on go time, there's no excuse.
Right.
But if it's a person that's not necessarily on go time, there can always be an excuse for them. Not this isn't personally about Meg.
Right.
This is in general. This happened with Kendrick and Drake before, there were times when actually Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole, there were times when one was asked about one of the others and they're like, no, it wasn't really. No, it was absolutely. You absolutely did this. And to anybody that's listening to everybody, we know the history and what has been going on.
Let me ask y'all a question, because y'all rap. Is there anything that is off limits? And the only reason I say this is because when it came to this with Meg, people was like, but you're talking about a black woman being shot.
Absolutely. So here's the thing, right? When you're somebody like Eminem, and it's going to be people that know me, that hear this, and they're going to be like, oh! When you're talking about Eminem, he is at the point in his career where he would be so desperate to come up with material for an individual that it's either that or nothing.
Right.
So specifically now, what the fuck else are you gonna say about her?
Yeah,
that's true.
So
also been happening.
If he feels that she was attacking him,
he's gonna go at what has the bigger reference. I'm gonna tell you. So Verm, I feel that sentiment, but in reality, it's a reason why a bunch of drill rappers are getting killed.
Yo, so I have an analogy for those who are into wrestling, or not, you'll still understand the analogy.
Right.
Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
Bray Wyatt had for a lot of people as he was coming up, people were referring to him as the new Undertaker, and in the way that his gimmick was supernatural and spooky, and and ethereal and shit. What up? So they were referring to him as the new Undertaker. But his creativity kind of escaped the boundaries of what wrestling is.
You did.
So oftentimes what would happen is he would kill the character work, destroy it, and then something with the booking of how the show is supposed to go wouldn't necessarily be, it would be something off with it.
Yeah. Yep.
And the response is, this has been summed up by saying, at some point you have to run ropes. So bringing it back to rap, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say, but this is not choreographed.
Nope.
This is not predetermined.
Yeah.
Nope.
So at some point, there's a potential that you're gonna have to run ropes.
Wow.
You might see this person or somebody that they connected to.
Right.
It's cool and it's cute to say nothing's off limits.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah,
and in the spirit of competition, it's a common thing that's said.
Yes.
However, everything has unwritten rules.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, just to still man your point even more, good sir. I have personally seen booties get spanked from local dudes who chose to say something and they let their alligator mouth get their hummingbird ass beat out here.
Thanks.
I've seen it firsthand. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen it. So, yes, in the aggregate, you can say whatever
you want.
Just be prepared.
You want.
Listen.
But understand this. If that guy really is who he says he is in his songs, and you come face to face with this motherfucker,
it might be
just be prepared. Just be prepared.
Yo, me and Tim used to bring this. It's not really a joke. It's funny when you hear it until you got to be the one that's involved.
Right.
But we used to bring this joke to the pod. Like, when you say something that somebody got a problem with, my mouth ain't bleeding.
That's it.
That is the barometer to which you can say what you want to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you are willing to deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
I didn't even think about what you were saying when it came to Meg about, like, that's what people attack.
Yeah, they don't got nothing.
Really
what else you gonna say?
What you gonna say?
This is a young black woman, college educated, all-star.
You gonna call her ugly? You
right?
Call her ugly?
The only things that I'm aware of that you could possibly critique, and some of this is up for debate, is her rap skills, her album making skills, and that she got shot.
Right. And then
nothing
other
else.
thing people say is, well, you know, Stallion is a male whore.
Yeah, but that's them not understanding Houston slang.
Yeah, exactly.
Houston slang has always had that. I know, always before a long time.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I heard that in Baltimore as a kid.
Right.
Older
right.
All right. From the older dudes.
Absolutely. Like that was a thing that if you wanted to say that was more acceptable to say it in the beginning of her career.
Yeah, like now.
At this point,
like you're just
it's so, and that's why I reacted to it the way that I reacted to it, because if it was someone else or something else, it wouldn't have given me pause at all.
Right.
But because of who it was and what it was, it gave me pause, and that's kind of made me think, like, hold on, this album might not be what I think it's going to be.
Right.
for him to be willing to put that on the first single.
But
all right, hold up.
To be clear, just as a general rule, rappers, if you're listening, if you say something, be prepared.
Something might get said.
Yeah.
Either be prepared for a response that's musical,
or when it's not,
or you might get the beats by Dre. Cause
right. Now the whole Kendrick and Drake thing makes even more sense because Kendrick was like, "You sure you want to do this?"
Right?
Yeah.
Keep it friendly.
Very simple.
Just say these little things. But if you keep going, I'm gonna go up and up.
That's how it works.
If you bring my family into this,
right?
Because I'm not bothered by you. You don't move me. I'm not scared. However,
if you attack,
there are unwritten rules. And we can stay with those.
Yeah.
You know, keep making me dance, waving my hands, and there won't be no threat. But if you gonna keep that part, GA, stand on that shit.
Right.
If you willing to say it, and it kind of goes to what I was saying about Rick Ross and 50 Cent. Once you reach a certain level of success, fame, money, you're kind of inoculated from some of this stuff. So that's when you will see certain people. That's why when you will see certain people do more outrageous things that they would never have considered doing before, because they are at a point where it's much harder to touch them.
It's hard to touch them.
It's much harder to reach them.
Not impossible.
Not impossible. Anybody can be touched.
Anybody can be touched, but it's hard to get.
It's hard as hell. It's nigga.
Nigga. Building. It's hard to do. But I'm just going to say for all of you out here listening to us, to be very clear, whether you are new, whether you have been doing this for a while, whatever, you are free to say what you like in your song. What I'm telling you, though, is that the consequences for that need to be factored in before you reach the booth. Not thinking about whether or not you should or should not have said that after that motherfucker's live on stage. It's already
you gonna follow through this.
By the time you see this, it's already too late. It's already too late. You know what I'm saying? So I really want my peers and the young up and coming ones, that anybody that might listen, please understand this, because motherfuckers, y'all got it fucked up. Y'all got it fucked up, and don't get fucked up, right? Because you got it fucked up. I'm telling you.
Also, funny enough, there's another situation, and this actually applies to Eminem, and I actually reference. So there's another situation in which there's a limit, and that is respect for another person, respect for a third party that isn't the direct person that you're engaging with. So there is a certain person.
Mama jokes be all in right.
No, there's a certain person who I cannot name that I have three separate songs that one of them I released because it was much less obvious who I was speaking about. Right. But two of those songs I can never release because Tune won't let me. And in one of them, I made the reference that Eminem has made. Eminem on, I think, Toy Soldiers. It wasn't my intention. My intentions were good. I made it my whole career without ever mentioning Suge. He blocks out Suge because, again, this wasn't my, Dre told me stay out. This just wasn't my beef. So I did. I just sat back, chilled, and gritted my teeth. That is one of those situations. Yeah, you have not heard Eminem diss Suge Knight because Dre told him, hey.
That's off limits. That's what escalated. Let us do this shit.
Right. So Nah, G, I can't. I can't do it. See, because never mind. Anyway, so finishing with Houdini. All that aside, right? Because I'm being as objective as I can. Mm-hmm. Thematically, this probably should have been that first track.
Yeah.
If this was the first track instead of the first track, the first track would fit.
To your point, when I went to look it up, because I didn't even know the album had dropped, right?
Right.
So you said something. I went to look it up. I found the wrong one. I found the playlist.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was that because I thought Houdini would be first.
Because it would have made sense. It would have made total sense.
One time I went to the second song, like, hold on, this ain't it.
Right.
And I went and found the actual album and shit. Because I'm thinking like you, Houdini would have been if this is a concept album, that made the sense to be first. We're telling a story.
Yep.
Listen, we over here writing fiction these days.
Facts.
So we're seeing it through that lens too. Like, okay, this is the origin of how this story starts. This is Act 1.
Yeah. And the author specifically told us that you have to listen to it in order for it to make sense.
Yeah.
That is very important. I don't want y'all to forget that. That's extremely important.
That's what he said. He said that.
GA, is it worth it? If you are a hardcore Eminem fan, it is worth a listen.
I agree.
I used to be a hardcore Eminem fan. I will never listen to this album again. So
my take on it is there are a couple of songs on there that I really like, but the vast majority of it, one, the instrumentals don't do it for me. And Eminem has always been about using the weird shit, and sometimes it works. But see, the thing about using weird backing tracks is it can be hit or miss if you won't, and then it's person to person. People like certain sounds. So for me, lyrically, he's always going to be rapping. He's going to be rapping. But at that, because of that, though, I have an expectation for a more holistic approach
and
music.
And because of that, you don't get these fucking passes, bro.
Yes.
Other niggas rap.
Yeah.
Other niggas rap. If I just want to hear rapping, I can listen to somebody else.
I can listen to me, nigga.
Like what the fuck? Like,
listen to me, y'all.
If y'all want to listen to rap, throw on some Adequate. Throw on some GA. Throw on some Great and Square. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
No, what at this point of my life and how my life has matched up with where hip hop is gone.
Right.
I need more than you just being there. That's why I have been still a defender of Eminem, but not a heavy listener of Eminem.
Right.
Because the arguments that people make against him are generally pointing towards a lack of skill.
Yeah, they're
and that's just not true.
Yeah, they're trying to do revisionist history on that, man.
Right.
And I won't hear it. And again, but like you said, sometimes look, I expect more, especially when you are as big as he is, and you have access to shit. Listen, every day when I'm out here putting together beats for a song I'm gonna do, I try to find the illest shit I can find because I want to give this song, or even if it's just for a verse, the best opportunity to be liked by people. I want to give it every opportunity to be liked. They still might not like it. That's not the point.
Right.
I'm trying to give it the best opportunity to be liked. So
I'm putting
this I like. Yo, I think I can. I bury this one because I want motherfuckers. If I'm putting it out there, I want some positive feedback. Even though I know the potential was there for negative feedback, right?
Yeah.
It just seems to me.
Huh?
He said
all his albums recently have been one-time listens. Yep.
Yes.
Same here.
Yes.
Same here.
Yes.
The last album that I've listened to more than once from him was Marshall Mathers LP3.
For me, if you want to know what I want from M in 2024, I want him to find the craziest beats out there and just rap.
Yeah.
I personally,
or I would have been fine with this concept.
Yes, if it was done right,
did it well,
if it was done right,
if he did this concept well, I would have been absolutely fine.
I would have been. Give me something to defend.
Yeah,
so I can at least defend the artistic value of it and say, listen,
that part
you can perfectly not like the content of what he's saying, but I'm talking from the first track to the skits to midway to all of it. It told a consistent story, and you don't see that happening too often in rap. I can't say that with this because there was parts that legitimately confused the fuck out of me. There's a point in the album where I said, okay, he just did this.
Right.
And
so this type of thing should be coming.
This is the line.
Right.
And then after this line, he won. He won in that song. He beat Slim.
Right.
After that, I'm expecting higher tier.
Yes. Not quite. Well, all right, let's get to it. So breaking news is just a skit, effectively making fun of what he thinks the reception to the album would be. Cool. Again, all the skits, if the songs had been done right, would have been A1. All right. Guilty Conscience 2.
What was
Slim and M go back and forth throughout this song about the things that he's been saying. I haven't mentioned yet some of the absolutely terrible lines M has on this album.
Yes.
One of them is in this song. Quote, now you just a punk, little scaredy cat, got you shook like Shakira's ass. First of all, scaredy cat is a wild thing for a grown man to say to another grown man. Second, shook like Shakira's ass is on par with the laziest similes that I have ever heard from a professional rapper. Shook like Shakira's ass.
That's like saying, "Boy, you better walk like a pair of feet."
Like, what are we talking about? I don't understand. I don't.
You better wave like a hand.
Like what? What are you talking about? How is that? How are you? Anyway, at the end of this song, he kills Slim in a murder-suicide.
Yes.
Then a skit plays where he's talking to Paul Rosenberg. I'm not Rosenberg.
What's his fucking name?
What's
he always digging in his ass about something on there.
I can't remember his name.
Hold on.
Whatever.
I hate this. No, listen, I got to. I got
it. I get it.
I got to because it's gonna be in my mind.
It is Rosenberg.
It is?
Because I remember in the Slaughterhouse song Move On, Royce was like, shout out to Paul Rosenberg.
I think you're right.
Something, those just words, I forgive you. Because that was the song where him and M had mended back.
Yeah.
And I think it is Paul Rosenberg.
Yeah.
Then the skit plays where M is talking to Paul Rosenberg, saying that the whole thing was a dream.
Yeah.
Now, no, not Steve Berman. Matter. So, like I said, Steve Berman was the guy that was in direct antagonist, and directly antagonizing with him. Paul was always pleading with him to tone down,
the fuck out,
chill out. So,
just so y'all know, the Houdini song has over 251 million streams.
Yeah, absolutely. So the skit plays where M is talking to Paul, saying that the whole thing was a dream. Paul was like, "Fuck you, I'm done with this shit." So next song. In this song, M says he rapped the way that he did because he had it tough growing up, and that he's back and he won't be tamed. But in the last song of the concept album that you told us is a linear narrative, you had killed Slim. So in the very next song, you make an excuse for the shit that you were saying because you had it tough growing up and that you're back now and you won't be tamed.
Yikes.
What the fuck are we talking about?
And we just stop using. I had a rough childhood.
Yeah, bro.
Like what? He 50 something.
You're 51.
Yeah.
What are we talking about at this point?
You know what? Go heal. Go get.
If you want it, like that works less the further you get from it.
Yeah.
Yes.
At that point, it's like, what have you done? What are you doing to fix the situation? Because you're in your 50s.
Right.
Stop saying it.
Right. So Temporary is the next song. This song has absolutely nothing to do with the concept. It's about Marshall dying and the things he wanted to say to his kids. The next song.
Hold up. Before you go to the next song, can I just say this? Something y'all said about you're 50.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you still? If you've been an adult longer than you were a child now, by this point. Listen. We all carry with us that little kid on the playground. But there's supposed to be layers that was built around that.
Right.
So that it should take a lot more to get you to revert back.
Yes.
You gotta go through a lot of layers to get you to revert back to that shit right there, right?
Should.
Something ain't right. Should. Now there's some things that can pierce a little harder, but
it's one thing if you're talking about it as strictly past tense, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking about this is why I said the shit that I said in my 20s.
Right.
But to follow that with I'm back and I won't be tamed.
You work on nothing.
I think the sequencing of this album was all off, and I don't understand why.
That's not. Hold on. Whoa. I want to be clear about this. Discord, that is not the point that we're making. No. We're not saying that as an adult you can't still have effects from, but I guarantee you, the result of that trauma and the effects isn't. And if it is, I'm sorry, but you need to seek therapy instead of trying to use this as an excuse. The effects of that trauma isn't writing, recording, editing, listening again, and then releasing music that offends everybody you could possibly offend.
The operative word in your statement was you're working.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're working on it.
I see people that are younger than me, older than me, younger than 50, older than 50. And yes, they do still carry
absolutely
a lot of things.
Because we're all human.
Exactly. It's the fact that
he's
back like he never left. He gonna still do it.
Right.
Like that means you didn't work on it.
At all.
You didn't work on it. You didn't work on it.
That's the problem.
Do not confuse this. That is there are things that no amount of therapy is going to get rid of.
Facts.
Right.
Facts.
Like that's exactly, Cindy, is how you deal with it. You have to actively work on these things, therapy or no therapy.
And that is actually your responsibility.
Right.
That's like when you're a kid, I don't expect you to have that. When you get to a certain age and you see that these things are negatively affecting your life, there's a certain amount of responsibility that goes. You go like, yo, I got to do something about this, especially if it's affecting other people's lives. Because now your shit's starting to splash on to other people, either your own kids or the people in your life. You can't keep people around you in your life because that thing is so encompassing, so overwhelming that it radiates this thing that tells people to stay away. At a certain point, you gotta accept some responsibility to do that shit or not. But if you don't, you cannot then whine about nobody wants to be around you. Because me personally, most of my friends got trauma.
Yeah.
We grew up in the village.
Everybody has some type of trauma that they have to deal with. Yeah. But here's the thing.
Of them
Let me be very
hold on
specific.
to a point where I can't be around them.
Yeah.
You know?
I started to say this, but let me be extremely specific. At 51, right? He's talking about when he was in single digits.
Yeah.
In that song, the stuff that he's referencing is from when he was in below 10.
Right.
So the things that happen to you in single digits, the the effect of that should not be in my 20s, I'm going to write, record, edit, listen to again, and release this song. In my 30s, I'm going to write, record, edit, listen to, release this song. In my 40s, I'm going to write, record, edit, listen to, and then in my 50s, I'm going to make an album insinuating that I'm going to be done with that bullshit, especially since I hadn't been doing it for the last few albums.
Right.
And then say, this is why I was doing that. I'm back now and you won't pay me. No. That doesn't, no, absolutely not.
And see, some of this also has to do with consequences or the lack thereof, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to speak for me and mine, right? Once we get a little older, just a slightly bit older, we ain't consider kids no more. Ask the police when they come around that motherfucker.
Facts.
Like some of the guys ain't even had sex with their first girl yet.
Right.
And the cops looking at them like they grown ass. Nah. So whatever traumas you had, for certain people, nobody gives a fuck about that. Right. Nobody cares. So the ones of us, in order to survive, that have lasted as this long, because trust me, I got plenty of friends that ain't here no more. They either dead or they locked up and never coming home because they couldn't find an equilibrium between their trauma and being sociable and being able to actually exist in society, right?
Right.
To get 55, that means I found a balance.
Yep.
Because a lot of my peoples ain't here. And I'm telling you, at the end of the day, whether or not you survive society, that's on you.
Right.
You know the rules of the dance. You walk into this shit and you unless there is something clinically wrong with you, you should be able to read the room. All right, I'm at a job.
Right.
I get paid a certain amount of money to be here a certain amount of hours to do a certain type of thing. There are other people at this job. If I make shit uncomfortable for the rest of the people at this job, eventually the boss is going to get involved and he's going to go, you can't do that. If my trauma prevents me from making adjustments, I will be without said job.
Facts. Or worse.
Or worse. You feel me? Like some of this shit there's a personal responsibility part to this. And then, like I said, unless it's something clinical.
But wait. That just made me realize.
Uh-oh.
Fuck this nigga. Because we're talking about his music, right? And
didn't he have therapy too?
Yes, he's been through therapy. But forget the therapy. No. Therapy aside, right? Therapy aside, right? We're just gonna stick with the music. He has made music to address this stuff before. He's made music to say that he has grown and matured before. So for you to be back to this, what? Right. So anyway,
it's his therapy. That was his therapy era.
Right.
That right there.
Yep.
And now we're
back.
You're back.
Yes, we're aware. We hear you, Slim. Like so. Like I said, next song, Temporary. Song has absolutely nothing to do with the concept. It's more about Marshall dying and things that he would have wanted to say to his kids. Next song, Bad One. This is a song where he blames everything on drinking. He takes another shot at Diddy. He also says the line, quote, when they get mad or angry at a statement that I may have said, I just say, man, I didn't say that Shady did. The person you killed 3 songs ago?
Also, what you have done then is stepped on the entire concept.
And the entire concept.
You stepped on the
It's out the window now.
Because now when the critique is, you only was saying you was Slim Shady in them songs so you can hide behind that shit and say fucked up shit that you really believe. Yeah. That's what they're going to say. Yep. That's what they're going to say. And already, speaking of that, this is the other downside of doing that because
whoa. Verm, it's been a long time since we went back and forth. This is nostalgic. This is nostalgic. I appreciate it. Bullshit. Let me put this comment on the screen and let me read you some lyrics.
What classifies as his therapy era?
The stuff when he first came back.
Revival. What was the other?
The first one was the shit with 3 a.m. in the morning on it. I don't remember the name of his album. Relapse is the first
Relapse.
one.
Relapse.
From Relapse, Recovery, Revival was basically his therapy era.
Okay.
So let me read you some lyrics because you just said you just used your fingers to type that his therapy era music was his absolute worst music. And I have to rebut you, good sir. No, I don't even think what I'm about to say is subjective. Let me when I read it. Where is it? Actually,
wait, can I ask a question before you start?
Go ahead.
What is Revival, Kamikaze, and Music to Be Murdered to?
Kamikaze and Music to Be Murdered by. I don't count those as like that's just that was when he was starting to fully put all of it together and mature as a.
Okay, that's what I hate.
So let me read you some lyrics from this pre-therapy. Some of these pre-therapy songs. You find me offensive. I find you offensive for finding me offensive. Hence, if I should draw any line, any fences, if so, what extents, if any, should I go? Because it's getting expensive being on the other side of the courtroom on a defensive. They say because I cause extensive psychological nerve damage to the brain when I go to limps this far at other people's expenses. I say you're all just too goddamn sensitive. It's censorship and it's downright blasphemous. Let's end this shit show because I won't stand for this. And Christopher Reeves won't stick for this neither. And let's clear this up too. I ain't got no beef with him either.
Is he sure?
He used to be like a hero to me. Matter of fact, let me go to this one specific part. Let me go to this one specific part in another verse, okay? Let me see. Which one do I want to do? Because there's so many choices. It's the second verse. Now, in the Bible, it says, "Thou shalt not watch two lesbians in bed, have homosexual sex, unless, of course, you were given the consent to join in. Then, of course, it's intercourse and it's bisexual sex, which isn't as bad, as long as you show some remorse for your actions, either before, during, or after performing the act of that which are normally referred to as such more commonly known phrases that are more used by the day kids in a more derogatory way. But who's to say what's fair to say, what's not to say? Let's ask Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, I got a question if I may. Is it gay to play putt-putt golf with a friend and watch his butt when he tees off? Butt up, I ain't done yet. In football, the quarterback yells out, hut, hut, while he reaches in another grown man's ass, grabs on his nuts, but just what if it was never meant, it was just an accident. But he tripped, fell, slipped, and his penis went in his teeny tiny little round hiney, and he didn't mean it, but his little weenie flinched just a little. No. Absolutely.
Bars.
No. Hold on. Let me see.
No, you know what's one of my favorite on Encore on Rain Man?
We're not doing this. We're not doing this. Let me see. Mary Kay and Ashley used to be so. That is not the. No, those are not the words. Anyway, now they're getting older. They're starting to grow bums. I go to the movie and sit down with my popcorn. Police saying freeze. What do you mean freeze? Geez, I just got my seat. I have ticket. Look, I pulled it away. My zipper zipped. Please do not remove me from this movie theater, please. I did not even get to see Mary Kate's shower scene. I didn't mean to be obscene or make a great big scene. And don't treat me like I'm Pee Wee Herman. This movie's PG. Mr. Officer, I demand to see my attorney. I will simply plead innocent, cop a plea, and be free. Yes, free, right back on the streets. What do you mean my lawyer's with Michael? He's too busy. I am trying. Britney Spears has shoulders like a man, and I can say that, and you'll laugh because there's a puppet on my hand. All right.
So here's the thing.
No,
though.
please no more.
Here's the thing, though. So, albums are about more than just the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says subjectively, I didn't like that era. That's fine, but I think there are some quantitative things we can look at, whether or not that's how the majority of people felt. Like,
sure,
you can see sales.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, no, you're right. You're absolutely right, because that is how the world works, and we
look at them sales. Look at that engagement. Understand? Like,
so, Eminem's highest sold albums. I'm gonna try to do this in order.
Okay.
It's difficult because I have to scroll back and forth. The Eminem Show, I think, is his highest selling album at 12 times platinum.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay. That was his hip hop album.
To me, that's the culmination of everything. That was him getting everything that who he was at that point right.
Right.
Well,
no, Discord. We're not using it as the sole arbiter. It's just a factor.
Well, yeah, it's a data point. Basically, what we're saying is, it's always going to be subjective musically.
Wait. I don't want to use subjective for that, right? Mm-hmm. The reason I don't want to use subjective for that because we are talking about a specific thing when we are talking about this. So if somebody else is talking about something else, then we're using two different metrics completely. Not just were these lyrics good, and somebody says, "Oh, these lyrics were good," and somebody else says, "No, I don't like these lyrics." So that's the reason I don't want to say subjective, because some people will be disingenuous.
I feel you, but I'm reacting to the term worst.
Yes,
that's what I'm reacting to. Worst. It's the
worst
music he's ever made.
Right,
that's subjective.
Yes, that's absolutely subjective. So, Eminem Show, number 1. Number 2, Marshall Mathers LP. Number 3, Recovery.
Wait a minute. You said the number 3, the
third highest selling album was literally the one that was representative of his therapy era.
Yeah.
So, again, No Love.
That's on 3 a.m.
No, that's Relapse.
Okay.
You're telling me that No Love is a worse song than Rain Man? That's what you're saying to me, Vern? Because then I have a decision that has been made. And what up, McKenna?
What up, McKenna?
Then I have a decision that has been made, because I am all for subjectivity, 100%, because everybody ain't gonna like the same stuff. It's just not. That's not how that works. However, if you're sitting here telling me that Rain Man was a better song than No Love, I can't discuss hip hop.
We have different
things that
in music.
Right. So like I'm not there's really no point in me discussing hip hop with you if you genuinely feel that way. And there's not anything wrong with you feeling that way. It's just that the conversation doesn't serve a purpose.
Each other.
Yeah, the conversation doesn't serve a purpose. So like that might be the craziest thing I've ever heard, to be honest. Like I've never personally heard anybody say that. I've heard people say they didn't like. All right, so put it like this: I've heard people say they don't like Relapse because of the accents. Like that's the biggest issue with that album.
I've heard
accents.
I've heard people say similar stuff to what Verm said. I've heard it. I just didn't hear the bulk of the people, like from my vantage point.
Well, when I say I've never heard it, I mean I've never heard anybody say it and be willing to expand in any way. Right? So like I've heard people say things like that. And then when you question them, they get quiet. Or they be like, it just is. I've never heard anybody make any type of comment like that and stand on it. Yeah, Vern, no, I'll give you the accents thing. I absolutely 1,000. That's a very common, that was a very common thing that people did not like.
That. People didn't like that.
And he addressed that shit in a later album.
Yeah.
Like,
people ain't like
yeah,
that.
so no, I absolutely no, 1,000%. But you ain't answering my question. You ain't answering my question. Are you saying that Rain Man is a better song than No Love? I'm asking you that very specific question.
And to be clear, I think the distinction is like you can like it better, but that doesn't mean it's a better song.
Correct. Like, so there's a such thing as a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I love Rain Man. It's one of my favorites. But I also understand what it is.
Right. like if I hold up. On Encore, Rain Man was one of the songs that I played the most. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not that I didn't like it. All right, okay, let's go down the list. All right, so you're telling me Evil Deeds was Rock Bottom is not from Encore. We're talking about Encore, bro. We're not talking about M's early stuff when he was fresh and had a fresh perspective on things, and he was saying things that we never heard before,
and also knew how to execute it.
Right? No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about specifically one of Eminem's most panned albums of all time, and it happens to exist outside of the era that you said was his worst music. Right? But Verm, see, this is what I'm talking about. You said a very specific era of his music was the worst music he ever made. But the album that he put out before that era started is his most universally panned album. So in order for the Therapy stuff to be his worst, Encore has to be better than that. So that's what I'm asking you, because
do you think that maybe you should go song by song? Is that
no. Oh, okay. I don't think that's necessary. All right. I just want to make it clear that, like, if you're looking, put it like this, the other reason I have the word subjective in this case. Mm-hmm. What are you rating? What are you rating?
Yeah.
Like, what are you rating? If you're talking about content because his shit is silly, the Encore album is a silly ass album. Mm-hmm. If you're saying you like silly Eminem more than you like serious Eminem, that's subjective. There's nothing that nobody can argue. Nobody can argue with that about.
Yeah,
if we're talking about any type of metric that falls under quality, then we can start talking. It's still some opinion in there, of course. Absolutely, because there's no way you can get away from the opinion. And it's art.
Also, when you talking quality, it does overlap into subjectivity.
Yep, absolutely.
The only 100%. Time it doesn't is if he gave us something that wasn't mixed or mastered right, and then you
right.
Well, this
sounds terrible.
It sounds terrible, right?
It sounds like he was talking through a garden hose. What the fuck was he thinking here?
Right, like that.
So specific song aside, are you telling me that you feel like Encore was a better album than Recovery? Let's just be that specific. Because again, you said the Therapy era was his worst music. And again, I listened to Encore. It was music that I enjoyed at the time. But I'm taking myself out of it because Encore is his most universally panned album of his one or two. Because Revival was up there. Okay.
So he's not a huge Encore fan.
So what you're saying, let me correct me if I'm wrong. So what you're saying is you don't like the things that he was talking about during his Therapy era. And of course the accents, because everybody can agree. I don't really think that's subjective. I think everybody can agree that the accents for an entire album
really bad
was crazy. Like,
really bad.
He was wilding on that one.
Pretty bad.
So okay, so he's talking about the type of the things that he's talking about. And that's why, again, I don't like the subjective word for the specific conversation we're having, because we're clearly talking about two different things. Because you're talking about the type of content. I mean, in order to have longevity, you tend to have at least a little bit of variety as far as what you talk about. Because it's very difficult to have that long of a career,
a run,
and you're still talking about the same exact shit you were talking about in your first album.
Nigga,
I think there may be a couple exceptions, right? There may be a couple exceptions, like some people that don't put thought into it will give that charge to Pusha T, for instance.
Right.
They're wrong if you actually listen to his music, but I understand. Anybody that's telling me Pusha T only rap about coke, I don't even argue with them, because I completely understand why you feel that way. Because if you aren't a fan of his music and you don't like listening to his music, it sounds that way. That's what the fuck it sound like. Anyway, finishing this album out. So that one song, he blames everything on drinking, takes another shot at Diddy. Also says when they get angry and mad and make a statement that I may have said, I just blame it on Shady. So now we have apparently thrown out the overall concept. The whole concept is gone at this point.
Yeah, gone.
And not only just the concept, but also the specific story that we've been telling.
Right.
It's now out the window. Next song, Toby. The song really has nothing to do with the concept again. Except,
I do like that song.
The only reason it fit in, I do like the song. The reason it fits into the album is because it is M's more current style.
Yes.
And current things that he talks about.
Right.
That would have been fine. You didn't even have to be on some apology shit for the second part of this album. It could have just been you doing the type of content that you do now in your new style.
Yep.
That's all it had to be.
Yep.
Like, again, this isn't so much about being offended. This is more so about you made a promise. There was a concept and you shitted all over it. You did not.
There was an idea.
There was an idea.
And then you threw it away.
Completely threw it away. Next song, Guess Who's Back? It's not a song. It's a skit. It's the Ken Kennett skit that he always has for his ending of his albums. And then the last song, Somebody Save Me, is just another song about Marshall dying and the impact that we have on his children. Right. So again, even if he ended the album with Slim dying,
right,
that would have worked better than what he did.
Yeah, because after Slim dying, there's no excuse for any of that stuff.
Not only is there no excuse, there's no consistency. There's no consistent.
That's what I mean. There's no.
Yeah,
it's you threw the concept away. Also, here's the thing, right? If you'd have done this right, I would have been there to defend his right to do the concept,
right?
Where he's showing who he look. Your legacy is your legacy. Mm-hmm. You had to take all the criticism for it, and you reaped all the rewards for it. So you can 100% frame it the way you want to frame it, right? So if he'd have done it in a way that I consider to be consistent, I would have defended his right to do it. But since you didn't,
right
now we have to talk about one of my fears when I heard some of the stuff initially, is that people are going to be misusing his lyrics.
That part,
it's already coming true.
Of course.
I've been scrolling through social media. It's a mess out there.
Oh,
people are chopping up the most controversial lines, right? Without some of the context of why he said what he said, and they put it in YouTube shorts, TikToks, stripping away all the context, right? And it's like, of course, these people are disingenuous. They're going to cherry pick the most inflammatory shit that's in there.
You know that.
And you have to. This is about me about responsibility as an artist, right? And this is what I was worried about, because these out of context clips, they're spreading.
Wild.
The tip we said earlier about how motherfuckers is trying to start shit by chopping off the parts where he talked about the criticisms that the haters have for these rappers and their stuff. I've seen them clip.
They're taking out the part where he says, Kendrick's album wasn't good. He dissed Kendrick. That's not what the fuck happened.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. And
also, right, I feel like, and you just reminded me of this. If we're doing the concept as the death of Slim Shady, then why are you doing the offensive shit with all this new stuff? Right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of these things weren't concepts that you were touching on back then because they weren't in the zeitgeist, really.
I think I can answer that through Houdini.
Mm.
So in the video, he brings him from that time period here, and it's like he's witnessing all of this shit now. Like, what the fuck? So if he wants to frame it as this is Slim's commentary coming from back then to now to seeing what's right now, he can probably get away with that.
No, facts, but he didn't do it that way. Right? Like, no, that is absolutely true. 1,000%, I agree with that. And again, that's one of the reasons that Houdini should have been the first fucking song in the album. Anyway,
should have been the first song.
But that's the point that I'm making, right? Like, I'll give you another similar point. You could have just chose to beef with the people that you were beefing with back then, right? Because if the argument is whether or not they're still here, Christopher Reeves is gone.
Yeah.
And you took
You're still
25
talking
shots
about
at him. Right. So you still could have listen, as much as I would it would hit the ear wrong for me.
It would.
You could talk about Britney Spears and the shit that she's been through recently.
Talk about Britney Spears. My first reaction was like, I need you to come to 2024. And then I would have thought, oh yeah.
Then I was like, oh, the concept.
He's supposed to be that guy from back then. So
right. So like it's like there were a group of people and a type of people that you were famous for throwing little jabs at in your songs that are outside of the list of people that you actually were beefing with. So all them still around. Like, with the exception of Chris Reeves, I'm pretty sure all of them are still alive.
Gotta say, there is one of the things that I loved about him was that he was doing that. Yeah. He was literally a troll. And I know some people took a lot of this shit personal, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of them people's fan bases took that shit personal too, right? But I guess because I'm a comic book nigga, like he seemed like a god of mischief, just running around picking with motherfuckers, right? That's what it seemed like to me. And I very much enjoyed it. Not gonna hold you. But again, I was a different person then.
Wait, remember where you at? To your point, I was listening to the people that he was doing that to. Like, I was a fan of the people, and I still enjoyed it. Like, I was there, like, I was still listening to fucking NSYNC and all this other people that he was talking shit about. I was still listening to Limp Bizkit. My second album was the Limp Bizkit album, Significant Other. I was still listening to Limp Bizkit after he started talking shit about it. Like, because these people are heroes. But they have no power here.
No power.
Even back then.
No power.
They have no power here. But anyway, yes, continue.
But yeah, so, all in all, what I'll say is that he could have did this way better. Yeah. I would have defended it. You know what I'm saying? At least the right to do it.
Same. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's an artistic, it's a thing of art. You might not appreciate it, but that does not make it not art.
Right.
Or even from the perspective of the beats, I wasn't a big fan of most of the beats. I wasn't. It didn't make me feel anything. Even with that, I still would have defended his right to do it.
Yeah.
Because this was a piece of art. The same way I walk inside of a museum and see some shit up there that I can't even identify what the fuck it is. It is not my place to sit there and go, look, I don't know what that artist had in mind when he put that shit up there, so I'm gonna let it rock. I know motherfuckers do abuse that shit.
Yeah,
100% abuse.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it gets added to music too. But
Sometimes we aren't the arbiters to be able to,
I don't how can I say what the fuck was going on in his mind with that? And I'm an artist as well. So yeah, there are certain things I'm going to relate to an artist's right to say certain shit and be a certain type of way. But the same way you have rights, there are no rights without responsibility. This is a shit that motherfuckers completely overlook, and it's kind of cringy because in other aspects of life, I literally see them utilizing this metric. Like, for instance, you're a citizen of the country, you are allotted certain rights. But you also have certain responsibilities, motherfucker.
Thanks.
That's how it is with this shit too. As an artist, there's certain shit I realized right around 2011 or 2012 that at that period in my music career, the vast majority of my audience was white.
Yeah.
So I start plucking the word nigger out of my shit.
Right.
I don't want to get them fucked up sitting there just repeating the stuff I'm saying. It's the wrong person hearing, like, yo, you call a nigga. What? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now, as time went on, I started seeing more black people started being, so then I integrated in a little more because it's black people there too. But it's a certain amount of responsibility. Also, I didn't want to write shit. And SBJ can attest to this because he's heard shit that I have never released back in the day. I don't want to release shit that my kids gonna have to explain.
Right.
Your father, he was on some bullshit. He went in, and I'm dead and gone, and they got it. Look, what they gonna say? You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to. I said in the song, I didn't want to be an albatross around their neck, or ankle on their ankles about anything that I said about that. It's a certain amount of responsibility that comes with that. Now, there are some artists that want to run around this motherfucker and feel like there is no responsibility. Hey, that's your opinion. I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. I think it's unrealistic as well. And I think it helps to contribute to a worse society. I just do. And I used to be way on the other side of that back in the day. I had songs criticizing that position. As I got older and I started seeing how you fucking bonobos react to stuff being played repetitively, concepts, narratives being pushed repetitively in a malleable mind, especially kids, I said, oh, yeah, y'all dumb as shit. I am expecting more from you than you actually fucking are when it comes to a lot of this shit. I'm expecting you to be able to see the difference between that. A lot of you can't. You can't. If it was just one or two that couldn't, cool. No, I'm seeing swaths of people.
Right.
Adopt some of the things. Yo, you got to understand, we are rappers. Yes, there are a few of us that are out here telling you how we really feel about certain shit and blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to tell you, some of the most opportunist motherfuckers I have ever been around in my entire life are other rappers.
Yeah.
Something happens out there in the press that has a lot of relevance or whatever to the news and the media, they'll interject it in a fucking song, whether they give a fuck about it or not.
Right.
Disingenuous. The crowd of rappers that I actually fuck with as people is small.
Yeah.
Small. So I realized there's a morality deficit in this whole circle. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't give a fuck. They just try and get on, especially when the idea of making as much money as you can and saying things for the money, doing things for the money became so prevalent that somehow added to your credibility. They threw the art all the way out the window, and decided, I'm going to say this, or I'm going to use this beat because they like it. Well, do you like it? No, but I don't relate to that. I don't relate to that. 40 plus years, and I've never done some shit that in the moment I wasn't feeling. I may have went back and spun the block on it. It was like, I don't like some, you know what I'm saying? But in the moment, I was feeling it.
In the moment. Of the first beats that I made that I was going.
It always happened to you, bro.
No.
You go back, you think they the bee's knees at first. You go after you got better and was like,
nah, bro. We can't do this up.
Can't do this. These are part of the trappings of being an artist that I don't feel is always
and caring.
explained. Yeah, and caring. I think I said this on the show before. My cousin Gerard said to me one time in the last 5 years or so, I'm in the bag, y'all talking to him on the phone. He had just moved to Texas. He said, nigga, if you didn't care so much, we could have had $1 million already.
Possibly.
I said, it's entirely possible. But it's also irrelevant because I do. All right? I do fucking care. I don't want to just be saying shit, and nor do I want to just be using certain types of beats because these are the people like that. I want to like this shit too. Sorry. I want to like it too.
Yep.
Even for that small window of time, 2 years from then, I might listen to like, but at that moment, I want to like it. That inspires me to write. 40 plus years. How you doing? Tombstone, the dead man, never had a ghostwriter. Just put it out there. Listen, listen. I care.
Yeah.
The moment I realized everyone didn't, I was like, yeah, maybe it does need to be guardrails on some of this shit because some of you motherfuckers are incorrigible. But maybe some of the guardrails is other rappers. Like other rappers.
That's what it should be.
You know what I'm saying? Hold the motherfuckers accountable.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't need no laws to do it. Other rappers, you see a motherfucker saying some shit, some crazy shit, attack their ass, right?
They gotta do it in a timely manner.
Yes.
They gotta do it in a manner that makes actual sense.
There has to be some actual context and consistency in the sequence of events of why you're going at the person for saying something goofy or whatever. But like you can't come back 16 years later and say, I'm responding to that song. Right. Nah, B.
Like, what are we talking about?
Nah. I'm doing the song, respond to the Stratacom. No,
nigga, no.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I'm not fucking with you, bro. So the last thing I'll say about the album, right, is anybody that's listening, here's what I'm about to say. Anything disparaging that I've pointed towards the listener before this point, take that shit personally. I have no time. I have no time to deal with anybody listening. Anything that I've said in this episode that is disparaging to listeners prior to this point, take that shit personal. What I'm about to say right now, please do not take it as an attack. Do not take personal. Try to think about what I'm saying and just reflect on it a little bit. Just a little bit. Right? No, I don't read paragraphs. Try to take what I'm about to say as constructive and think about it and see if it applies to you, right? Again, this is not a judgment, not a personal attack. There are people that are going to be like, Eminem is back because he's offending people again, right? If you enjoy people being offended, right? Because let's not play this semantics game. Offensive things offend people.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as an offensive thing that offends no people. So let's not play this game. So if you are a fan of people being offended, because that is what it is, you either lack empathy, you have some other type of sociopathic traits, or you're a shitty person. Because you don't like being offended. No matter how often it actually, I got thick skin, black. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Chill out. Stop being so defensive. Stop being defensive and just listen to what I'm saying.
So yeah, I hear that shit. So when a motherfucker say something about your mama,
right?
Your mama,
right?
You ain't gonna do shit.
Exactly. Like
then you're pussy.
You're right.
Then you're
this
pussy.
is not. I'm not trying to call you sensitive or no shit like that. But you have been offended by a thing. Again, unless you on that sociopath train. Then right. In that case, I'm not the person to talk to you. She over there.
Nope.
Okay, never mind then.
First of all, I see a plaque on that wall. Yeah, I'm coming.
No, nothing else.
I'm coming.
None of that. Oh, okay.
Pay no attention to the trinket on the wall.
Right. You know what? Okay, go ahead.
So
on my way.
That like it's one of those things, and you should probably think about it because you don't like being offended. No matter how often you have been offended in your life, if it has only happened
one time,
right? If it has only happened once, you weren't out a fan of that moment, and for you to celebrate when other people feel a way that you don't like feeling, it kind of makes you a shitty person. Like this isn't.
You lack empathy,
right? I don't think this is a hot take.
But it's the worst type of lack of empathy, though, because it's the I'm not crippled, so I ain't worried about it.
Right? It's that type of shit.
It's like the worst type of lack of empathy.
Like, because it's like, sure, freedom of speech, rah, but to what end? Because why? Why be a dick for no reason?
And are you actually making society a better place in any way? Like our discourse, the thing people, I think this is the part that bothers me about a lot of the reductionist arguments around the offensive shit. Language.
Yeah.
How we talk, what we say is a cornerstone of our society and us as a species, how we communicate to each other. Does that mean that we're always going to be doing the right thing? Fuck no. We're fucking.
Of course not. There's no way.
But what I'm saying is, when you lean too far into our faults and flaws as a society and as a species, you're going to fuck your society up, because once the discourse goes out the window, we can't be polite. We can't at least make the attempt to understand how the next person feel. Where does your politics go from there? Well, we've seen it. We see it happening currently, right? All your shit will fuck up.
Right.
All your shit will fuck up if we eliminate that aspect of the control of, listen, if I'm in a certain place, there is a certain way I'm supposed to conduct myself and my behavior.
Yeah.
If everything is let's do it whatever we want to do for whatever reason we want to do it.
Yeah.
If that's it, let me see how your society works out for you.
All right. So I'm glad you said this, Vern, because I forgot this dumbass disingenuous take. Because somebody making fun of something you don't see a problem in is not you being offended. That's not how this works in any way, shape, or form. If you have chosen to be something that you don't see a problem with, there are people who will defend the thing that they've chosen to be. Absolutely, 100%. But you being offended by that doesn't make sense, because it was a choice for you to be there and do that thing, and you don't see a problem with it. It's not the same thing. That's nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Shit talking Jewish people for the fact
that
they're Jewish.
It's not the equivalent of making fun of Christopher Reeves for getting into a horse accident and not being able to move his arms and legs anymore.
It's not
the same thing. And this is it. I'm so glad you said that, because I forgot to include this disingenuous ass take. Because people will do that. They will use shit like that, and that's not the same sport.
Right.
Fuck the same ballpark. That's not the same sport.
It is most definitely a marginalized group in a sense. It's like 1 to 7% of the population. Right. So it's definitely a marginalized group. Also, there are legitimate things you can point at where that group does not get serviced in the same way or get aligned. A bunch of things. But it's not the same as you attacking something that somebody can't change.
Right. They are completely different things. And again, if anybody makes that type of argument in good faith, then you are probably fitting somewhere on that sociopathic scale, because you don't understand. So there's always room for not understanding a thing, because that's how we work. But if you understand,
I don't understand shit. So
but if you understand that you're either somewhere on that sociopathic scale or you're being disingenuous, because that's not how it works. That's not what anybody was talking about. Being fat isn't always a choice. Being a little person is not a choice. Like, these things aren't equal. One doesn't belong. Your religious views, your skin color, your sexual orientation, any disabilities you were born with.
I'm on the fence with that. That's a choice because I switched from Christian to Islam.
Yeah, that's the one I'm making.
Oh, okay.
I said one doesn't belong.
All right.
Yeah, one doesn't belong. Religious views, skin color, any disabilities you may have been born with, any major accidents that you were in. One doesn't belong. It's religious views.
Yeah,
it's absolutely a fucking choice that you can make. That's disingenuous. But we gotta get this weekend because we got shit to talk about. Facts, Mike.
First of all, I already did it on my page, but I'm gonna do it right here officially on the show. Happy birthday to Mighty Mike Gleason.
That's a fucking absolutely 1,000%. All right. Two.
So this is hold
up real quick. That is a very good point as well, Cindy. Intent also matters.
Yes.
I think there's a difference between someone poking fun and being mean-spirited and intentionally hurtful, as well as still with intent matters, impact over intent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both of those statements are true.
There's scale here. There's a scale here.
Yes.
My week has been largely uneventful in almost every way. Except the fact, listen, I've come to certain realizations, right? Especially about the motherfucking cats in this house. I've come to certain realizations, right?
It's always the cats.
I'm just saying there are constants. So the first constant, main constant, I would say, is that after a certain period of the evening, that black motherfucker got to go upstairs. And behind a closed door.
That's racist.
Right.
Listen.
We just talked about this.
Listen. My man Oil Slick over there.
Yo, that's wild.
He got to go upstairs behind a closed door.
Thanks, Ogman.
Look, he got to go up there where there's water, there's food, there's 3 couches, an ottoman, the window to look out of. He's fine. He can't be down here, though. He can't be down here. He's infringing on the rights of the oldest cat in the house.
Hey, hold up. GA made a request.
What's that? Can we get a tombstone there? No. So absolutely not. So that's the one thing. The other thing is, and I gotta be real careful here. I'm gonna try to be as vague as possible. I have a really close friend that's going through the whole depression thing. And I kind of had a hint that that's what was happening, but it wasn't until I was made aware of it that I confirmed, oh, yeah. And there's a lot of reason for it. I'm not a doctor, but I don't think it's clinical. I think it's situational. And I think it compounds several situations happening at once, hitting your ass, wham, fucking you up. And it just led me to realize that what I told them was that sense of dread that you have, all of us share that shit. Shit looks sweet from a distance. A motherfucker will see how you're living and not understand how you even got to that point or how you're maintaining and think, oh, they got it all figured out. No, no, it's not true. I think the major difference is that some of us, we have distractions that are connected to our light at the end of the tunnel that we hope is there, right? And we work towards that, and that's the distraction from the dread, but we all whistling past the graveyard.
Right.
So I'm going to say from that situation right there, without being super specific about who it is, whatever, to anybody out there that's feeling that way, if it helps you to know that you're not alone with that, and a lot of us out here struggling, having a silent scream or white knuckling it every fucking day, right? If that helps you to know that you're not feeling this isolation, it ain't.
Right.
Even the ones of us that feel like it seem like we got it all going together. No, I'm telling you, it's not that. And I know we got people from different walks of life that listen to the show and all of that. I feel like that's a necessary message, especially now, because shit's getting super stupid now. And you're gonna start seeing more. I think if we go and do the statistics on it in a few years, we're gonna see an incline of people having these panic moments, these anxieties and shit, because a lot of it's environmental, right? Understand you are not alone in that shit. And if at all possible, go get some damn help.
Yeah.
Go get some damn help, because the same brain that's being impacted by this environmental pressure, you can't always expect that to be the brain that's going to get you up to feeling better about that shit.
Facts.
It's affected, right? It's affected by what's going on. To that very close friend of mine, I got you, right? We all going through it at some level, and I've been exactly where this person's at. Exactly there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my week.
Yo, peace over.
Peace, Vern.
Chrissy.
Well, I don't really feel like I have that much. Let's see, where do I start? Oh, my realization of the week is that I'm old.
Oh, for real?
And
laughs at 5,500.
Right.
Okay. All right.
The only reason, no, it's not even that I'm old. It's how fast time is going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's weird. Like, as my friends' kids get older, I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, it was that many years ago since I did that? Like, it's just the realizations of that. Some of my friends' kids, some of my godchildren are legal adults now, which means that I'm older than I thought. And my most recent realization was because of TikTok, because everybody's doing this trend where they're putting a song and saying that their like father was a heartbreaker back in the day. And I was looking at some of these pictures, and back in the day looked like my pictures from when I was younger. I was like, oh, the fine daddies are the same age as me. These men that y'all talking about, like, oh, they look good. They're only in their 30s and 40s.
That's because
I'm old.
They lift the ban on fetuses posted on TikTok.
Right.
Right.
The people that are posting about their dads are like 17, 18, and their dads are in their 30s. Like, that's wild. So anyway, that was one realization. I don't think I've been on here since I started my new job. Right. Because I said that I was going to tell y'all about next step. But I'll save that for when we have more time. Because that's going to be, you know what? That needs to be the day.
Yeah, that's going to be the topic of that
right. That needs to be one of the days where we just go back and forth talking about shit.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, about my new job. My new job is cool. It's very weird being in a non-toxic environment after being in a toxic environment, because I'm waiting for something to be wrong.
Wait for the shoe to drop.
Right, exactly. Because I'm like, this has to change, because that's what happened before. And I was at Next Step for 4 years. So I'm like, something's going to happen. But so far, nothing big has happened. I had my first annoyance with the job on Thursday. Yeah. So they hired a lot of people at once. And
that's annoying.
Our office space is limited. So the good thing is I work hybrid. I only have to go in the office 2 days a week, which are Wednesday and Thursday. But they told us, because they hired so many people, If you don't have clients, don't come into the office. Or if your clients are virtual, you can do it from home. So I'm like, cool, no problem. I set up my schedule in a way where I get there, I see all the people I need to see, and I can leave. Like, not too many gaps in my schedule, because then I'm just sitting there and taking up space, or I have to go in a common area because another therapist needs the space. So on Thursday, I had a 2:30 in person, a 5 o'clock in person, and then my other clients were virtual.
Let me ask you a question about that. Question about that. How long is your typical session?
45 minutes to an hour.
All right.
Yeah. So I had a 2:30, I had a 5 o'clock. So it wasn't too much gap in between. I was fine with that. My other 2 clients were virtual, so I was going to do those at home. My day starts at 10 a.m. on those days, 10 to 6. But since I didn't have a client till the afternoon, I was like, okay, I'll just do my first part from home.
Right.
I wake up, and my job is calling my personal cell phone number. We have a work phone. So I was like, what's going on? But I left my work phone in the office overnight because I don't really look at my work phone once I'm home. I'm clocked out. Leave me alone. They're calling my office, my personal phone. So I answer, and they're like, your 10 o'clock is here. What 10 o'clock? I don't have a 10 o'clock. Oh, we emailed you yesterday. Your 2:30 rescheduled for 10. And at this point, I'm taking accountability because I'm like, I messed up clearly. I didn't see my email. I'm so sorry. I can get there in like 30 minutes. They're like, that's fine. I go look at my email. The email was sent like 9 o'clock the night before. So there was no way that I was going to see it. And even if I did wake up and see it, I wasn't going to make it to the office by 10 because I had no intention to be there at 10.
Yeah.
So that was the first annoyance. But I was like, they're trying to get used to the fact that there's so many people too. So they're working on it. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone. And then they messed up our direct deposit. So that was thing number 2.
No.
Wait. They didn't mess up the money.
No.
Literally, they messed up the direct deposit.
Oh, okay. All right.
We had paper checks. We had paper checks.
Right.
But their system, something happened with the system. And that happening the same day as the other thing, while I was in a session, the email came through like, we have paper checks this week because something's wrong with direct deposit.
That's inconvenient, but at least you got your money.
Right.
Yeah, kind of.
I got triggered because that happened to me before. I was like, no.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for over half of the amount to clear. So I've been annoyed.
I'd have been annoyed too.
I need more money.
Absolutely.
Other than that, our kitchen floor is finally finished.
I was going to talk. They don't know about that yet.
Oh,
no,
you did say something about it.
Yeah, I know about it.
I was listening last week. Anyway, I'm not going to say too much about it.
They tried to get you to move all the stuff.
Yeah.
They don't try.
Yeah, because you were talking about Tuesday and having to move the stuff.
Yeah, wasn't no try, nigga.
So yeah, our kitchen floor is done. I'm very happy because I work at home most days, and the banging was so annoying, and they will always come super early, which is fine. Get started while I'm trying to still sleep is the problem. While I'm in session, all I hear from outside my office, boom, 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 boom. I'm like,
that reminds me of an episode of The King of Queens when they was in there trying to fix the termite shit. Them workers were ass. They were ass.
Right.
Yeah. So that was annoying, but I'm glad it's done. And then the final thing is, I'm not used to being at home so much. So I've been like trying to do little things, like find little hobbies. Mm-hmm. And one of my hobbies is I'm trying to have a green thumb, which I don't. So I have some plants that I've tried to take care of. And so far, so good, except for the fact they keep falling over.
Yeah, they're not happy enough.
Cressy?
They're very light
Cressy,
plants.
Hear me. I say this with love. Don't make them plants go through that. Get some crayon and paint your thumb green. Do not use the plants.
Listen, I've come a long way. I had a plant years ago. It died immediately. And then now I've had a money tree for about 6 months. It's flourishing inside. So now my sister was like, I'm going to take you somewhere to get some like low maintenance plants for outside. The problem is they're light. So if it's windy, then they blow over and I got to go rescue them and take care of them and all of that. So hopefully I'll have a good update on my green thumb. Maybe it'll turn out a little bit of green. But that's it. How about you go into the kitchen?
No. I'm gonna let them live until something else happens. Because I got a lot. So I guess I'll start with work since she mentioned. So PSA. To most situations that are minor inconveniences for the people that are around them, you ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta
lie, Craig.
It ain't necessary. So I hate when people lie for no fucking reason. I get a text from one of the managers. She sends me a picture of the computer screen, and it appears that she can't do anything. There's a modal window on the screen. So for those who don't know what a modal window is, it is a window that pops up and it takes all focus, and you cannot click anything else until you interact with that window. So think about if you try to close a document you were working on, but you didn't save it. A window will pop up telling you that you did not save. Do you want to save? Do you not want to save? Or do you want to cancel? If you try to click anything else in that application, it will not let you. So that is what a modal window is. Modal windows can affect just one application, or they can affect the entire desktop. This one affected the whole desktop. So I saw the picture she sent before I read the message she sent. I knew exactly what it was when I saw the picture. So before I responded though, I read the message. Someone said they were trying to burn a CD, and when they put the CD into the computer, a white screen popped up. This was such an egregious lie that I will not be able to fully explain.
What?
This is such an egregious lie. And listen, they said they put the CD in the computer, and when they put the CD in the computer, the screen turned white. This is such an egregious lie that I can't even fully explain to y'all all the ways in which I know it is a lie, because I would probably get in trouble. But I'm going to go into some of them. First of all, the person who said it doesn't have any tech savvy, but they think they do.
Worst motherfuckers.
I've had several interactions with them to prove this point to me. Second of all, it's not broken, and it's an easy fix that I know. I have memorized the fix to this problem. Ain't nobody gonna get in trouble for this. There's no reason for you to be lying.
Ain't nobody gonna get shot smack.
Nigga. Third, and it's time for the teachable moment. So Windows has this bug. I don't know the exact conditions necessary to recreate this bug. And when I say I don't know the exact conditions, I mean, I don't know if it only affects Windows 10. I don't know if it only affects Windows 10, but the specific edition that we have at work. I don't know if it's the particular brand of computers we use. But if you ever encountered this, I have the way to get out of it. So when you first set up a computer, and sometimes after an update, you will see a screen with options and a description on it. They are completely modal, giving you aren't even at your desktop yet. It will be the screen, and behind it will be black. You have to choose to either change the setting or keep your current settings. There are several different of these. There are ones asking you to use Cortana. There are ones asking you about security features. There are ones asking you to use Microsoft Edge. Sometimes after an update, when you go to log on, you are greeted with one of these screens, except the screen is completely blank. Because it's blank, you can't interact with it to get it to go away. It's possible that turning the computer off and turning it back on could fix it. I don't remember. But there's a quicker way to get past it. Just log out of the account that you were trying to log on and log back in, and it'll be gone. It's really simple. It's really quick. It's really easy. It's not a big deal at all. This has worked every single time that I've run into this issue. So the reason I know he's lying is because what he said is not how you happen upon this bug.
Right.
That's not how you achieve this state. Now, to be fair, I don't know why he's lying. Someone there could have been on him about, quote, messing up the computer, and he might, be reacting to that. He could already be in some unrelated trouble and don't want to have anything worse. Maybe it's because of some of our past interactions, and he doesn't want to have to deal with me because I stop him whenever he says dumb shit. Like some people don't point his shit out. That could be one of the reasons. It could be one of the reasons. I point out the dumb shit he's saying because I'm like, no, you're not about to listen.
Ain't nobody trying to deal with your monkey ass.
Listen, it is what it is. I don't want to deal with this. It's so cool. Like, I'm glad that he wasn't him that reached out to me. So anyway, but I responded to her text. That's not what happened. And then I just told her how to fix it. She responded with, thanks. That's what he told me. It worked. No shit, it worked. And the fact that it worked should tell you that I know exactly what it was and that I've seen it before.
He said that shit like it was
I already know that he told you a lie. You don't need to tell me again that that's what he said. Anyway.
She said that shit like it was in doubt. Yeah, it was a little iffy there for us.
They had us early in the fourth quarter.
I'd have been annoyed.
Anyway,
so annoyed, yo.
No, I'm glad that conversation took place completely over text. I'll put it that way.
Woo!
I'll put it that way. In person, I would not have been able to control my facial expression.
You would be you would have been facially challenged.
Nigga, it'd have been a whole problem. It would have been a whole problem. Hey, whatever, Uglies. It is what it is. All right, next thing is actually work as well. This is something I didn't have time to slide in last week. So I'm going to bring this back up later in the story, but I want y'all to have this front of mind. The main office of the company I work for is located almost in the heart of downtown Baltimore. If you know anything about downtown of cities, there tend to be homeless people. Also, within the last year or two,
I ever lived in.
Shut the hell up. also, within the last year or two, there have been several rehab facilities built in the area that house addicts. Right. Keep those two things in mind. Our building is actually two buildings in one. In the mornings before we officially open, we can only go inside of the door that we call the old building. The other door is considered the main door, and it's where people come in if they have complaints or they need to pay their rent or whatever the case may be. Right. Apparently, several people got either upset or scared that some homeless people and some of the addicts tend to spend time in front of our building, loitering. Not blocking the doorway or anything, not causing a commotion.
Just there.
Just existing, right. Now, I will say that not wanting people to loiter in front of your business is not an uncommon thing, but I will also say I don't find an inherent issue with the concept. But again, I understand it's not uncommon.
It's case by case.
Right.
Depends on who's loitering.
Yeah, it depends on who's loitering, what they're doing, that type of thing. Yeah, absolutely. To say that you don't want a bunch of drug dealers in front of your business, I completely understand.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's case by case. So there's this product that businesses use that you spray in an area.
Hey, Og was ash.
There is this product that businesses use that you spray in an area and it produces a foul smell that discourages people from hanging around. Now, I'm not here. But you heard me. I'm not here to talk about the morality of this product.
Wait, what?
I'm not.
Never heard of that.
Listen. I'm not here to talk about the morality of this product.
Morality.
Wait,
when do I buy this shit?
Stop. Listen.
When do I buy that shit?
Shut up. I'm not even here to question its efficacy. I'm sure it works because businesses use it, right? So what I do know though is, what I want to know is, Whose fucking bright idea was it for us to try it? Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. In order for this to work, right? In order for this to work, it has to have some type of staying power, right? Because it wouldn't be convenient for you to have to spray it several times throughout the day, right? Yo. So if I had to guess, I would say we have about 22 people or so who come into the building before the main door opens. It's a fucking spray. Yo. So it's not confined to some imaginary boundary. So you have around 22 opportunities, give or take, for it to make its way into the old building before we even open for business, right? So, I also forgot to mention this. Once we go through the outside door of the old building, there's a vestibule and there's a locked door that we have to input a code and our fingerprint in order to open that door. So that means, also, there are quite a few older people that are not really that tech savvy, so it takes them a while to put in their codes and to get the fingerprint reader to work. Okay, so I generally,
my God,
I'm sure that the feeling of wanting to get out of the situation you're in and rushing doesn't make it easier to use the fucking fingerprint. Okay, so I generally get to work about an hour and a half before we open to the public. It got so bad so quickly that by the time I got there, and there are people that get there hours before me, by the time I had gotten there, that little area had a box fan in it pointing out, right?
What's the smell?
I don't even remember, to be honest. I only experienced it that one time. So there was a box fan pointing towards the door to try to mitigate the amount of the smell that came through the building. Okay. The second, yet similar reason why it was a terrible idea that clearly nobody thought out is because of the way paying rent is currently set up for the average tenant at my company. Now, this is about to change because, I don't remember if I said this or not. We found that new software and we're about to start implementing it. So anyway, that's about to change. But currently, the average person, it behooves them to come downtown physically to pay their rent because other ways that you have to pay rent are not necessarily the most convenient.
Yikes. They don't need another thing to complain about.
So you can mail your rent in, but it's snail mail. And ever since COVID, nigga, first of all, it was already called snail mail.
Now it's
already called snail mail. Then once COVID happened, obviously that changed it completely to where people don't even be getting mail sometimes. Like that's the whole thing. So the most the most efficient way to get your rent in is to come down and hand them your fucking rent. So throughout the month, right, we have a relatively decent flow of traffic. But this past week was the first of the month. Now we don't have all of our rent. We don't have all of our rent due on the first of the month like some places do, but it's still the busiest time for foot traffic. So again, those people were now letting the smell into the building. Then on top of all of that, again, the people who are doing the loitering are homeless people and addicts. First off, they don't be out there causing no trouble. There's nothing inherently special about our building. They just have to be outside, or it is at least one of their best / only options to be outside when it's as hot as it is.
Yeah.
They are literally just chasing shade. That is all they're doing. If those two things weren't a factor, and we were trying to deter like drug dealers or rowdy kids or something, then maybe this would make sense. But again, I repeat, it is homeless people and addicts. Why the fuck you think they care about the smell?
Listen.
It did not deter the people that we were trying to deter. Those same people.
Know whose idea was it?
funny enough, I later found out, and I have a slight. It was not a well thought out plan. No. And when I wrote my notes, it completely baffled me as to why
they just bringing in extra funk.
Anybody would come to this conclusion. But I found out, well, not quite found out, but I have an additional piece of information that helps me try to explain what they could have been thinking. They tried this elsewhere. They tried this in one of our properties because we had a problem with drug dealers. I can only imagine, because I still have not talked to this person about this. I can only imagine that because it kind of worked there, they figured it would work for us downtown. Not taking into account the myriad of things that are different from an open air area that is not heavily in a heavily metropolitan area versus a city block.
I'm honestly surprised it worked with drug dealers.
It didn't. Wait. It didn't actually really work. They just moved to a different corner.
Listen, those of you that know how that shit go, a lot of them niggas be out there for days, not days, in the trap.
Bruh.
Right? So
they just moved to a different corner.
That's
it.
Yeah.
But I guess, again, I haven't talked to this person. I'm assuming that they were like, oh, well, it got them to move. I guess the only thing I think. I can't make
like you said,
the other way.
Homeless people and drug addicts aren't going to care.
What are we talking about? And it's not as if we don't know this, right? It would be one thing if there was just some random. It would be one thing if the tenants were complaining that every time they went to go pay their rent, they had to walk through a sea of, and it's not even that many people. But anyway, they complained about they had to walk through a sea of people in order to get into the building, and people wouldn't move out the way. But that would be one thing. And in that case, we wouldn't know who the people are. But we work where they live. I just don't understand. We work where they live. So we know who they are. Like, we don't know the people, but we know their status.
This is shitting where you eat, my guy.
Nigga!
This is the thing.
To the point where, and this is the most baffling part about it, right? This is how you know it was not thought out. They only did it for one day.
Yikes.
That's how you know it wasn't thought out. Because they did that shit, it had the effect that it had, and then they was like, okay, no, we're not doing this no more.
Guys,
one day.
It's hot.
That part too.
It's hot and sunny. So the hot has an extra effect on the stink.
Yes.
And the sunny is the reason that they're standing beside our tall building.
They're trying to get some shade.
They're chasing shade.
Listen to me. If you want to feel funky, feel free.
Nigga, but please don't spread that funk on me.
Like, what are we doing? Yo,
my supervisor was like, oh, I think the smell has made it to the elevator. I'm like, come on, yo.
So hold up. Let me see if I understand this. Now they're tracking the smell. Oh shit. What the yo? What have you done?
That's wild.
Let me move on. I still got what we got.
My God.
So very short thing. The Walgreens. Nigga. It got worse. So the cooler is still broken. That same cooler is still in the same exact situation. It still has the sign on it. It still has the straps on it. It still has the same exact drinks that were in it these months ago when the shit started. And it still broke, right? But on top of that now, remember, all of the stories that I told about Walgreens involved a long waiting line. Then they removed one of the checkout lanes.
Yo.
What the fuck are y'all doing? Anyway, moving on. This cat.
I knew I wasn't alone.
Nope, it's not. Nope, it's not what you. No, it ain't your shit at all. So the cat finally got over the bullshit she was on.
Don't talk about the baby.
And started becoming a real cat. I knew it would only be a matter of time, mainly because
I ain't mad at that cat for not trusting you, bonobos.
Call it what you want.
The reality.
I knew it would only be a matter of time mainly because she's still so young. I don't think she's one yet.
I think she just turned one.
something like that. Basically, she gets bullied at my mom's house because my mom's other cat is a menace.
What's the name of the cat?
Which cat? The one we currently have?
Yeah.
Dazzle. They're closer in size now, but
be afraid, Dazzle. Be very afraid.
Shut up. She was small when my mother first got her, so the other cat has bullied her from the start. And my mother kind of thinks that he's just playing with her because that's how he is with humans, but he's just too aggressive. I would say from the little that I've seen that is probably what's going on, because like I said, he does that to humans as well. That's funny you say that, Discord, because Walgreens bought a bunch of Rite Aids. And I don't think that's what it is. It's that specific Walgreens. Other Walgreens that I go to are just fine. It's that specific one that's right next to my job. So anyway, like my mother's other cat, he likes attention. He will come up to you for you to pet him, and he will let you pet him. But it only lasts like 15 to 30 seconds before he starts grabbing and biting and shit. Yeah. So anyway, when Dazzle first got here, and my mother left, she went right back into her carrier and stayed there for about a day. Then eventually she started going behind the door in that room. So she was between that and the carrier for about a day. Then she started going between that and under the futon. When I noticed that, I closed the carrier. Because I'm like, no, we want to make progress here. We're not going to just keep,
She's like, I don't live here, man.
Hey, call it what you want. This is your home for the foreseeable future. Once I noticed, like I said, I closed the carrier. Up to this point, she wasn't eating or drinking anything, and she wouldn't be out in the open if we were around. Then she started coming out of those spots at night. She walked into our room one night, but when I noticed her, she ran. This whole time, we have taken time to go where she is, to try to get her to come out, try to give her food, all this other shit. Eventually, we started being able to get her to come out if we were holding her brush, because she loves to be brushed. But even then, she wouldn't let us brush her at first. She would start walking towards us, and then she does this thing. My mother says she does it to her too. So whatever. She would do this thing where she sees the brush, she sees you with the brush, she walks to the brush close enough to like just touch it, and then she'll lay down for you to brush her, but she rolls away from you when she does it. So you can't reach her. And it's like, first of all, I'm not chasing you. Second of all, I literally can't reach you now because you're under the futon. So I'm not about to
chase me, Uman.
No, nigga. I'm not about to blind reach my hand under this futon with a cat under there.
Why?
That's dead.
What you think's gonna happen?
I'm good. I'm good.
What you think's gonna happen?
Actually, I don't think she would scratch me. But I wasn't risking that shit. I wasn't about to. Yeah, I'm not risking that shit.
No risk, no reward, my guy.
I was good without the reward. Next, she started going downstairs by herself. I woke up one morning and I couldn't find her in the room. I went downstairs, looked behind the sofa. She was chilling back there. I'm like, all right, cool. Here's the thing. At no point in this was she aggressive. She never like swiped at us. She never hissed or anything like that. She was just staying out the fucking open.
Don't fuck with you. So
I mean,
I don't trust
but
you.
until now.
Well, it's different now. Next, she started coming in our room at night, even with me noticing her. And then eventually she would like jump on the bed while I was in it. And like Chrissy wasn't here. And she like laid down in Chrissy's spot.
Oh, I see what's happening now.
Shut up. Somewhere along that time, she started drinking water. She started to eat a treat or two. Then she started being around us a little bit more, rubbing up against us, letting us actually brush her. Then she started eating more of her treats. One day I went into the room and realized he drank all the goddamn water. Like, oh, okay. Later that day, she came downstairs. Later that day, she came downstairs with us while we was chilling and just roamed around openly. She jumped off the windowsill onto me in order to get onto the ground.
It was loud too.
It was loud. She heavy, yo. She heavy as fuck. Anyway, Marcus was over here. She was walking up to him and letting him pet her. And the next morning I woke up and all of her actual food was gone. I'm like, oh shit, you eating now? Right. And when I refilled her bowl, she actually ran up to it like a normal fucking cat. When she hear the bag open, she actually ran up to me like a normal cat. I'm like, oh, now you're acknowledging that this is food, huh?
Like, that's all. Acknowledge me.
So now she just be with us. Like,
she's a regular.
I mean, it's not 100% to that point.
Yeah, we
but
can't
like,
make no sudden movement.
Yeah, she was messing with Chrissy hair yesterday.
She was jumping up on the couch, playing with my hair like this, and I'm like, stop. Get out of my hair.
And I told Chrissy, this is what you asked for.
Yeah.
You wanted her to be comfortable.
Yeah, she comfortable as a motherfucker.
She comfortable as fuck now.
I was giving her treats the other day. She came right up to me, running around me in circles while I'm putting treats in the bowl.
Mm-hmm. I know it was only been time.
Y'all gonna have to train her to sit on her ass when you're giving her some damn.
Oh no, nigga. She better go back to my mother like tomorrow. we ain't got time for that. Yeah, she better go back to my mother tomorrow.
That's what my wife did. It works until they see excited.
Right.
Then you got to remind them, sit your, and they go, oh yeah, that's right. I'm sitting down.
And then our search for our little cats.
Effectively, I started closing the door when we go to sleep. Because the real reason why is because it's not like she's been here a long time.
No.
Right. So she at that point when I started closing the door at night, she still wasn't super comfortable with us. And I didn't want it to be a situation where she's on the bed and she touches one of us and we do that startle wake up thing. And
she got to start all the way from scratch.
Nigga, yeah. Like I didn't want that. So I started closing the door at night. So
she was upset.
Yo, she did
Cats
that.
don't like closed doors. They don't like closed doors.
Look, I'm like, yo, listen.
You see that now? Like right now, the door to the second kitchen and to our room is closed. These cats hate it. I can't tell you how many times I done came in here and it's like a protest outside the damn door and shit. They lined up. One of them sitting on top of a box. One of them trying the doorknob. They don't like that shit. They don't like that shit. But the fact that they don't like it, I like that.
I hate you so much. The funny thing about it is she doesn't really do it to the studio because the studio door stays closed. She ain't allowed it here. But
she made it in one time.
Yeah.
Oh, did she?
Well, that was the
some beats.
No, nigga. Shut up. That was the first day when mother was still here. So she was exploring the whole building with Chrissy because my mother was still here. As soon as my mother left, all that shit went out the window.
Yeah, I don't know you, man.
No, his mom literally said, "Okay, Dad, so I'm leaving." And Dazzle ran straight into the carrier and looked at her like, "Oh, we're leaving?
You going? Yeah.
Right.
We're going?
Right. Dazzle isn't black, though. But
is she, gray?
Yeah, mostly.
She's
calico,
yeah.
kind of.
Okay. So she's...
I don't remember. My mother told me what breed she is. I just don't remember it.
Yeah, something wild.
One of those little toddy? Because we got
don't give me the line.
And
don't give me the line.
They are insane.
No, she's calm. She's relatively calm. I mean, she's a cat. She does the zoomies thing.
Oh, yeah.
But outside of that, no, she's calm. Like I said, she hasn't been aggressive at all. She hasn't been swinging at nobody.
See, that's
she ain't been hissing.
40 we got here. Maya is not aggressive in that, that sense, but she's
neurotic. Your mom thought she was a Maine Coon at one point.
No, at first she's not. But that's what my mother, because she's huge. No, that's why, because she kind of looks like a Maine Coon and she's huge. But she later found out exactly what breed she is, and it's not a Maine Coon. But yeah, she big as shit for how young she is. And it's like, bruh, I wonder if she's one of those cats that's going, hit a point and just stop, or if she's one of those cats that's just going to keep growing for a while. Because she's the size of a full-grown cat. And she's happy. So, my mother, before my mother brought her over here, I was over at her house, and she went and got her. And she's like, whenever you carry her, make sure you hold her like this. I said, Ma, I'm not picking that damn cat up. She is a PTS baby. I'm not picking her up at all.
Scratch the shit out your ass.
Right. I believe less that she will actually scratch me now. I'm still not picking her up.
Don't believe it. It's only been what, how long?
Nigga, it's been about a little over a week. Yeah, nah.
These depending on what you're trying to do with any one of these cats, then it depends on whether or not you can get scratched. Like for instance, when they know they going to the vet.
Mm-hmm. Yo, and my mother was like, that's when she shows off. She does not do any of that type of aggressive stuff at all in the house. At the vet, nigga.
Yo.
And it's like the aggressive cat is chill at the vet.
See, again, this is how T'Challa was. T'Challa was so bad, they banned him from that particular vet. It was like T'Challa can no longer come back in.
That's wild.
So what I've always imagined in my mind is that when they took him in there and Yetta left him and they opened that motherfucker up, he started throwing them vibranium daggers. He came out running across the walls, jumping from the chandelier, scratching motherfuckers. Wow! Like
no, facts, Ugly.
He was, hog was ass. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying they banned T'Challa from that spot.
Yikes.
They
I
banned
it. I hope we get a mostly kitten.
Yeah, that's the hope, but it's the crapshoot, nigga.
It really is. Like y'all know the taste for real,
right?
They all got these little different personalities and shit. And then what triggers them is different depending on what it is and type of breed cat and what that cat has been through and shit. That's why it's always best, in my view, if you can, to get them when they babies because
that's what we're doing.
Yeah, if that cat has been through some shit.
There will be no cat that is not a baby.
Yeah, man.
I'm not playing that shit. I'm not playing that shit to even have a chance at being able to get them close. And what you have an idea of, they gotta be a baby. They gotta be.
Yeah.
Ain't no way around
it. Because you have to be, it sounds fucked up too when you think about it if you was to apply this to humans. But you have to be the thing that they identify with the most as humans. Like you have to be these people.
Right.
So by the time, like the oldest cat in here is 16 years old now. Right. She don't know like it's us. It's us. It's just it's us. That's what she knows. The mom and she don't go outside.
Right.
So if it ain't us, it ain't nobody.
Thanks.
Right. That's exactly what I want.
But yeah, that's all I got.
We want to thank all of you once again for joining us. Another rousing edition Black Culture Geeks podcast, aka Saturday Morning Cartoon Block. Also, when you get a chance, SBJ, I want you to send me the brand and the store they bought that stink away shit from because
no, nigga.
Absolutely not. No.
But do not forget to check out my sister, his significant other, Chrissy's Heard It Through the Grapevine podcast. Check that out. Also, go check out my guy, Super Side Guys and Hendrix Metas and Mutants.
Yeah.
Hopefully this week. I hate him. Hopefully this week, towards the end of the week, something might
going on.
Some stuff might happen.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like something's broken.
I mean, kinda, but something might be coming. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This week coming up. Appreciate all the engagement on the promotional pictures and shit.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. And shout out to Addy, even though he's not here right now. Shout out to him.
Absolutely.
But I think that there's always music.
I mean, yeah, nigga.
Old music, current music,
yet to be released music,
right?
And potentially
uploaded and ready to drop music.
I mean, it happens.
All types of different music. Yeah.
Go check out my man GA's newest project. Find it on Bandcamp. I'm not sure if it's on Spotify and all that, but it probably is. But yeah, so for my man SPJ,
you
and my sister Chrissy,
hey,
I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.